They call it the big time. Got your name in lights. Now you're gonna shine. Got them in your sights.
You're just trying to find a way out. I don't want to tell you how to live, but I just don't want you to miss. And I don't mean to scare you. I want you to live, and I dare you to give this life all you have. Yeah, all you have. Nobody said it would be easy. Nobody said that it would all be fine. But to get where we're going, brother, you got...
Renda flips it to the receiver coming across. A lot of running room. Down the right sideline goes Luke Jacquemart. He's trying to cut back and is going to finally brought down inside the 20-yard line. A play fake to Penn, throws it up into the end zone for Boyd, who brings it in for the touchdown.
Great decision by Burkett. Goes on, but gets the offensive defender behind Chin for the touchdown on Bodie Davis.
So Boyd now has tied the all-time receptions record at Carroll with his second touchdown of the night.
Watch the speed of him on special teams. We talk about Gaiwai, get in on it. And what a play by Jacquemart. Just extending his body out, the speed getting to the punter, and Caden Mackey there to scoop and score.
Quick strikes offensively and on special teams. This one picked off. It is going to be hauled in by the Dragons. Austin Carroll rushes 3. Spy on the quarterback. McCroskey trying to escape. All 3 linemen get home and bring him down.
It was a great victory over crosstown rivals Keller. This week, the Dragons travel back to Justin to face the Eaton Eagles.
Hey Dragon fans, welcome to the Dragon Football Night pregame show sponsored by Clayton and Clayton Real Estate. Now here are your hosts, Chris Blake and Robert Clayton.
Tonight we are at Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin, where the Carroll Dragons take on the Eaton Eagles. Our broadcast tonight presented by Whitechapel Methodist Church. Hi there, and welcome into the Clayton and Clayton Real Estate pregame show. Chris Blake with Robert Clayton, our director Tim Polster, and statistician Scott Farrell tonight. The Dragons coming off another convincing win, 63-28 over Keller on homecoming last week, to go 6-0 on the year, 4-0 in district play to lead 4-6A by a game over LD Bell. Eaton, meanwhile, won on a walk-off field goal a week ago to top Keller Central 34-31. The Eagles are 2-2 overall, 2-1 in district play. They've already had their bye week and have had one game canceled by storms, so that's why just the 4 games overall for the Eagles. Well, Robert, we've talked a lot about Angelo Renda on the pregame show this season, and he just keeps giving us reasons to talk about him some more. The senior accounted for 6 total touchdowns, 5 through the air, 1 on the ground last week, and completed 80% of his passes. We're reaching a point where seeing any mistake from Renda is becoming very rare.
Yeah, Chris, I think Renda is spreading the ball around, making smart decisions, using his legs when he needs to. You can tell the game has really slowed down for him. We've talked about that from week to week. But I think at this point, it feels like any mistakes he makes is the exception, not the norm. He's playing at an elite level right now, Chris, to say the least.
The other part of the game that we talked about a lot last week that jumped out to us for the Dragons was the special teams. Carroll blocked the punt, returned it for a touchdown, recovered an onside kick, had the biggest returns of the year from Parker Harris. Are we seeing more playmaking on special teams from Carroll early this year than we have in the past?
Well, I mentioned before, I talked about the old term, old Dragons used to use, get in on it, the Gaiwai mentality. And so I think absolutely special teams have really become a difference maker for Carroll early on. You know, the block punt last week for a touchdown, the onside recovery, those are all game-swinging moments. And Parker Harris, Chris, has added a real spark to the return game. He's given the offense great field position and bringing a lot of energy. It feels like the Dragons are really treating special teams as a true weapon, not just as a transition phase of the game. Young Dragons at home. I've said it before. If you want to get on the field early, be electric on special teams.
And we've talked about this a lot throughout the year as well. Those returns by Harris in particular, among other things, the punt game, all that kind of stuff, feels like the Carroll offense hasn't really had to deal with many long fields at all this season. And for the Dragons tonight, a win would be the 100th as a head coach for Riley Dodge. By our research, best as we can tell, it would make him the fewest games coached to get to 100 wins in state history, doing it in his 109th career game, eclipsing the previous mark by 1 game. He's still young, just 36 years old, but what does this milestone mean? What does it represent?
Well, I think it's a huge milestone. It really speaks to the consistency and the standard Riley Dodge has built at Carroll. You know, to reach 100 wins faster than anyone in Texas high school football history says a lot about the program's culture, the buy-in from his players and staff, and really his ability to adapt year after year. He's still a young coach, but he's already cemented himself among the elite. And really, Chris, the scary part for opposing teams is he's just getting started.
Just like us on the Clayton and Clayton Real Estate pregame show. Still to come, we will hear from Coach Dodge. We asked him his thoughts on potentially getting to that mark tonight as well. We'll also get you the starting lineups, but coming up first, we take a look at the balanced play calling for Carroll and the unbalanced results it's produced. That's coming up next on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey, Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, recharge with red light therapy, and fuel your body with our powerful Slim Shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Hey, you Dragon fans, it's Julie Walter with the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title in Southlake. I have some great news for all you homeowners. With school and football in full swing, this season will still be a great time to buy, sell, or refinance your home. At the start of football season, we will still see families moving into the Southlake area. Call your friends at the Baker Firm to get more information, and I promise you we will provide a smooth closing from beginning to end for your Dragon family. With our real estate attorney, Chris Baker, on hand 24/7, you will be sure to score a touchdown closing in our office. Protect the tradition with the Baker Firm.
Feed Store Barbecue on Whites Chapel Boulevard in Southlake's been serving up great food to Dragon fans for over 20 years. Chopped brisket, pulled pork, and their signature ribs are just some of the reasons that people in Dragon Nation love Feed Store Barbecue. Call-in orders are welcome. They'd be happy to bring it out to your car if you want them to, or your truck. Order online at feedstorebbq.com and go Dragons.
You can trust your medical care at Southlake Dermatology. We have over 65 years of experience between Dr. Bowers, Dr. Tynard, and our 4 physician assistants. We treat a wide range of medical, surgical, and cosmetic concerns ranging from skin cancer, hair loss, rashes, increased sweating, and anti-aging. There are multiple new options for hair loss, such as Nutrafol supplements and PRP injections. View our services online at southlakedermatology.com.
You're looking at Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin, where Carroll will take on Eaton tonight in district game number 5 for the Dragons. If you're making your way down here from Southlake, Robert and I both recommend get on the road. Traffic was a little bit dicey not dicey, just heavy on 114 today.
It took about an hour and 15 minutes to get here, which is incredible. Back roads and weaving in and out. I had my my Tundra at full steam ahead.
Yeah, just off-road.
Off-roading.
There's just not a lot of places to get across 35 except for that one intersection. Anyways, that's besides the point. We're talking about Carroll and Eaton tonight, and let's start with the Dragons offense. It's run the ball exactly the same number of times as it's thrown the ball this year, 163 times each. But the yardage discrepancy between those two is probably larger than you would expect to see it, especially this early in the season. Dragons have 1,469 passing yards, 752 rushing yards, so more than double. What's been the difference in those big plays in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, I think balance in the play calling really jumps out, but the explosiveness through the air has been the difference. A lot of it, comes down to how efficient Angel Rinda has been at pushing the ball downfield. The receivers are doing a great job getting separation. The protection up front has given time to let those routes develop. We've also seen Carroll use a run game to set up play action shots, and they're really capitalizing, Chris. It's not that they're abandoning the run. is just that the passing game is hitting chunk plays. When I say chunk plays, I'm not talking about myself, Chris. I'm saying plays that flip the field and put points on the board fast. And a lot of these plays that you see from the Carroll offense, they'll hit it out through the flats. That's really an extension of the run game. They count as pass play, but it's an extension of the run play.
Those offensive linemen still get fired up on those short pass plays. They're still the ones that are out there as lead blockers. And speaking of those offensive linemen, you think this is a night against the Eagles where Carroll could have some success on the ground in particular?
I do. I don't think Eaton's been real successful on the ground or defending the run, and it feels like a night where it can really get going. They're playing a four-man front. This makes it easier for the fits on combination blocks, especially for zone running. You can sense they are starting to lean on that physicality up front. Plus, with how efficient the passing game has been, the defenses are having to play back a little bit more, which opens up the running lanes. If Carroll can establish the ground game early, it will make that play action even more dangerous later in the night.
This is a Central team that last week gave up 264 rushing yards to Central, 362 to LD Bell the week before that, as you get a look there at how the play calling has split up for the Dragons. Pretty even throughout. There was a bigger difference in pass attempts and rushing attempts last week, but overall, as we mentioned, exactly 163 each. Well, on the defensive side for the Dragons, we've talked about guys in the secondary, we've talked about the ends and linebackers. We haven't talked a lot about the defensive tackles and what they do on the field, eating up blockers, moving the pocket. Can be kind of hard to measure with stats. So an impact the player has on a locker room and keeping his teammates loose. That brings us to Jake Lucky. He's a 2-year starter at D-tackle for the Dragons, strongest guy on the team, and Robert, by all accounts, a guy who helps bring this team together.
Yeah, Jake Lucky is one of those guys every great defense needs. Maybe not the flashiest, but absolutely essential. He sets the tone up front. His ability to eat up blocks, lets those linebackers fly around, make plays. He's constantly disrupting the pocket. But just as important is what he brings off the field, he's an energy guy. The glue in the locker room, and when you're the strongest players, also you're one of your most unselfish players, and that's a powerful combination. He really embodies what Carroll football is all about. He is not only a team favorite, but he's a fan favorite.
Get a look at some of his lifts right there. How's that stack up to you when you were in high school?
Way stronger than I was, I'll tell you what. These kids nowadays are bred different. That 370-pound bench is incredible. He's packs a lot of punch for the size that he is. And
will certainly be a lot to handle for this Eagles offensive line tonight when the Dragons defense is on the field. But coming up next on the Clayton & Clayton Real Estate pregame show, we'll hear from Carroll head coach Riley Dodge as we count you down to the Dragons and the Eagles on the Dragons Sports Network.
This is Pastors John and Todd from White's Chapel in Southlake. White's Chapel is a church where it's all about Jesus. We're a place where real people make genuine connections, where it's okay not to be okay.
We're a church where grace is a lifestyle and where everyone has a place. From the lifelong believer to the unchurched or de-churched, we're here for you, and we'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
Hello, Dragon fans. I'm Stephen Nelson, partner at Mills Wealth. Our team is celebrating our 25th year anniversary of helping Dragons succeed financially. As an independent firm, we aren't owned by a bank or an insurance company. Instead, we're fiduciaries doing only what we believe is best for our clients. If your finances need a second opinion or would like to tap into our expertise, come meet with our certified financial planners or CPAs and learn how we can help you win just like the Dragons. Look us up online or give us a call at millswealthadvisors.com.
Hey, Dragon fans, this is Robert Clayton with the Clayton team at Clayton Real Estate. Karen Young and I have been proudly serving Southlake for over 30 years in residential resale, family owned and operated, and former Dragons. Being a Dragon graduate, you truly understand what it means to be a Dragon. Tradition, excellence, and a winning team. That's what we provide our clients, the best service and experience in the industry with a winning tradition. Dragons representing Dragons. Call us today at 817-894-4152 or visit us on the web at www.dragonrealtors.com. Go Dragons.
Looking for a roofer who truly knows Southlake? My name is Chad Cross, owner of CLC Roofing, a longtime Southlake resident who's proud to serve this community. For decades, we have protected Dragon Country with roofs built to handle the scorching sun, sudden hail, and high winds, all while keeping your homes looking beautiful. CLC Roofing proudly supports the Carroll ISD, the Carroll Booster Club, and local events. Supporting Southlake is part of who we are. We know every HOA standard, city code, and neighborhood nuance because we live here too. When the storm hits, we're not hours away. We're already in your community, ready to help the moment you need us. Our crews are safety certified and led by project managers who always focus on details. From minor repairs to full replacements, we bring expert craftsmanship and clear communication to every project. We only install top-tier roofing materials, and as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, we can offer extended warranties most roofers cannot, because trust and quality go hand in hand. Protect the tradition, Southlake.
Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium as we get set for Carroll to take on Eaton tonight. Chris Blake joined by Dragons head coach Riley Dodge. And Coach, we've talked about this before, but it seems like each week there's a new aspect that you guys build on that impresses us during the game. And last week it was special teams. You guys had a blocked punt return for a touchdown, recovered an onside kick. Parker Harris had both his longest kick and punt returns this season. What did you think of the special teams game last week?
Yeah, like you said, it just keeps getting better and better each and every week. We take a lot of pride in our special teams. I think that's got to be an elite unit for us, and it's got to be to our advantage. But our kids take a lot of pride in it, and obviously we're being really explosive.
Offensively, one of the numbers that jumped out to me is that you've run the ball 163 times this year. You've thrown the ball 163 times this year. Normally we see that yardage about even, but so far this season, the passing yardage has more than doubled what you've produced in the running game. How do you explain that discrepancy with the equal number of play calls?
Well, it's good to know that we're pretty balanced. Yards are yards. I think the big thing that probably to a naked eye that people don't realize is like all of our like quick touches, our quick spits on the perimeter are an extension of our run game. And so I actually did a stat the other day, and out of our 60-something, quick touches on this year, we're averaging roughly around 11.2 yards every time the ball gets on the perimeter, and that could be like a jet sweep, which unfortunately for O-line coaches, that's a completion, but that has everything to do with our offensive line, and internally I know that our O-line's proud of that.
On the defensive side of the ball, you guys got home 6 times last week against Keller for sacks, 4 the previous week against Timber Creek. Sack numbers have ticked up kind of as the year's gone on. Are you doing anything differently to get to the quarterback?
Well, we have a sack tracker in our team room right now, and so the kids get to see it going up and up and up each and every week. So it's a really good visual for our defense. I think it's just, if you turn the film on, it's just fanatical effort to the football. I mean, you see it each and every week, and guys have given up on the plays, and we're doing a great job in the back end covering down on some athletic quarterbacks, and you got D linemen and linebackers finishing to the football.
You'll see an athletic quarterback again this week. I do want to ask you one more question before we get to the Eagles, though. You debuted the new jerseys last week, the Patrick Mahomes line with Adidas. What's it mean to you to have this program selected as one of 3 in Texas, 15 in the country to debut those Gladiator uniforms?
Yeah, that's been a conversation we've been having with Adidas for a while now. Obviously, Tech debuted that last year, and I made a call immediately to our Adidas team that works with us, and then got connected with Patrick. Patrick works out here in the off season, so had conversations with Patrick, me and him, and just told him how cool it'd be if you brought that to high school football, and they got it off the ground. We're 1 of 15, like you said, 1 of 3 in the state of Texas. We love our partnership with Adidas, and to have Patrick Mahomes on our chest, one of the greatest, one of the greats of all time, and still producing at a high level is really cool for our kids.
Turning that attention to tonight's quarterback, Rocky Nisa, the quarterback for Eaton, just a sophomore. He kind of leads this group. They've got some talented sophomores at receiver as well. What have you seen from that sophomore class for the Eagles?
Yeah, it's a talented group. We saw them last year as freshmen. It was one of our tougher games. We won that football game. Our freshmen did. I think you see that they're going to be pretty talented for a while, and he's doing a really good job. I think he's a steady kid. He doesn't get too high with his highs or too low with his lows, but he's doing a good job for him.
Defensively for Eaton, they've got a couple of defensive ends you'll be contending with that you faced a year ago in Ahmad Griffin and San Diego State commit Elijah Lash. What do you have to do to limit their impact on the game?
Yeah, I think probably the 2 best DNs we've played all year. Athletic, they really want to get after the quarterback, and they can get a pass rush with 4. I think they're playing really with like 4 DNs up front, so it's an athletic group as a whole. We have to do a good job getting the ball out of our hands, but I think our O-line is pretty talented as well, and they've done a good job of keeping Angelo upright.
And finally, a win tonight would be the 100th of your career. It would also make you the fastest head coach in Texas high school football history to 100 wins by 1 game in your 109th game, besting the previous mark of 110. What would that record mean to you?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a program record. It means a lot to me, especially here. But obviously I couldn't do it without amazing players, amazing coaching staff. Lee Munn's been with me every step of the way for all 100 games, and obviously his leadership and what he's been able to do with our defense over the years. And but it's very special. It gives you goosebumps. It also says you've been here for a while. But it's all about the kids and what they've been able to do over these, 100 games. It's crazy. 100 wins.
That's Dragons head coach Riley Dodge, who is sitting on 99 wins. A win tonight would be the 100th in his career. Dragons and Eagles coming up next on the Dragons Sports Network.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Come check out Champions Club at the Mark Southlake. Conveniently located off Southlake Boulevard in Bicentennial Park, Champions Club is your local, safe, and fun destination for fitness, play, and connection. From state-of-the-art workout spaces and exciting group fitness classes to our aquatic center, indoor courts, and party rentals, there's something for everyone. Make Champions Club your home for health, recreation, and family fun. Join today and discover what it means to live like a champion. Go Dragons!
For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents of Southlake and the proud parents of 4 Dragons. I've been a dedicated volunteer in Southlake for the past 13 years, including serving 7 years on Southlake City Council. I'm the president and managing shareholder at Godwin Bowman, which was established in Dallas in 1980 to serve clients with business litigation issues all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and I'm board certified in civil appellate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Please consider me, Sean McCaskill, and the law firm of Godwin Bowman for your business litigation needs. Please visit our website at www.godwinbowman.com for more information. I promise you that we'll provide big city experience together with small town service.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Are you considering buying or selling your home in Southlake? I'm Kim Bedwell with Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty, and I would love to assist you. Recognized as one of the top professionals in Southlake by both industry peers and clients, I am a proud mother of 2 dragons and have been a resident of this amazing community for over 20 years. I know Southlake inside and out, and I am committed to ensuring your real estate journey is seamless and successful. You can find me at kimbedwell.com. Kim Bedwell Real Estate, delivering the highest level of experience and results in Southlake and beyond. Go Dragons!
You are the visiting.
Right side gets away from a defender across the 5. Touchdown Dragons! Kicking that way, put your back to this go. You guys put your back to this go.
From Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin, it's the undefeated and top-ranked Carroll Dragons against the Eaton Eagles. Hi there, everybody. Chris Blake alongside Robert Clayton, our statistician Scott Farrell, and director Tim Polster tonight. Coin toss has just been completed here at midfield. Eaton won the toss and elected to defer. So Carroll will get the ball first. The coin toss tonight presented by the Baker firm, Fidelity National Title. If you need title work, call Julie Walter. Well, the Dragon captains return to that inflatable dragon head over on the northeast corner of the end zone and will take the field tonight, looking for win number 7 on the season. Dragons tonight in the all whites. Looking to go to 7-0 and get one step closer to securing a district title. That is always goal number 1 on head coach Riley Dodge's list of 3 goals to start the season that culminates with winning a state championship. And Robert, here, as we're past the halfway point of the season, that state championship is something that you're seeing talked about more and more with the Dragons and the way they've started the year in such a dominant fashion.
Yeah, I think you're seeing it, nonstop, just in the headlines, whether it's the Dallas Morning News, 4-Star Telegram, social media. There is a buzz around this team. It definitely started at the beginning of the season, and you're seeing a lot of those predictions, a lot of people jumping on that Dragon bandwagon and seeing that they are legit.
Let's quickly take a look here at the starting lineups for the Dragons tonight. The backfield of Angelo Renda and Davis Penn has certainly been productive for Carroll. Top targets for Angelo tonight will be Brock Boyd, Brady Knowles, Blake Gunter, and Caden Mackey. The offensive line, familiar group up front, left to right, goes Luke Wilson, Will Barley, Kerry Clayton, Nathan Damaraki, and Tristan Dare. Defensively for the Dragons, Crawford Taylor and Marcus Browse, the defensive ends, Jake Lucky and Jackson Oakley, the tackles. Linebackers and corners, Robbie Ladd, Will Lyons in the middle, and the combination of 4 safeties that we'll see 3 of them on the field tonight as we progress. Time for the national anthem here in Justin. We'll be back with Robert's keys to the game after it's completed. The Eaton Band completing the national anthem tonight here at Northwest ISD Stadium. And before kickoff, Robert, let's get a look at your keys to the game.
Well, not much changing. I think they've got to put pressure on Eaton, and that goes to Rocky Niza. They got to get him in tough situations for the sophomore quarterback. They've done a great job so far on the takeaway battle, whether it be on special teams, onside kicks, or getting some type of turnover. That is going to be crucial for tonight. And then stay ahead of the chains. And this is one of my favorite ones, Chris, is just you've got to stay ahead of it. You can't get back. You can't get in bad situations. You can't have false starts. You can't have penalties. They're going to create situations where you've got to be too assertive on the offensive side. So stay ahead of the chains.
Well, if you're thinking about buying or selling your Southlake home, meet Robert Clayton and Claren Clayton Young with Clayton & Clayton Real Estate. Recognized by both clients and industry professionals as one of the very best in Southlake and DFW, Robert and Karen bring expertise and hometown pride. As Carroll graduates, lifelong Dragons, and Dragon parents, they're invested in the community and serve through nonprofits and youth sports benefiting Southlake and Carroll ISD. The Clayton team is committed to making your real estate experience seamless from start to finish. Clayton & Clayton Real Estate, where Dragons represent Dragons. So ready for the opening kickoff here in Justin. To kick it away for the Eagles is Peyton Erdl, who had the game-winning kick a week ago to send Eaton to a 34-31 win over Central on the game's final play. He will be kicking to Parker Harris and Brock Boyd. Harris had his longest kick return of the season last week against Keller. They kick it to Boyd at the 10-yard line. Brock will return it across the 25-30 and is going to be forced out of bounds along the Dragons sideline. A flag comes in towards the end of the return, away from the ball.
And Chris, we're talking about this Eaton defense. You're going to see a 4-down line. You're going to see 2 linebackers that are going to bring up what they call a bandit to almost make it look like a 4-3 versus a 4-2. You got to watch out for the 2 defensive ends, Ahmad Griffin and Elijah Lash. Elijah Lash is committed and going to sign with San Diego State. He is a force, one of the best defensive ends in the Northeast Tarrant County.
During the return, holding, receiving team, 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
26-yard return for Boyd will be brought back 10 yards after that holding penalty, and Carroll will start at its own 26-yard line. So Lash and Griffin, the 2 defensive ends for this team, that has given up a lot of rushing yards over the last 3 weeks. Receiver goes in motion for the Dragons. Renda out of the gun with Penn to his left. He's going to throw on first down. Knowles makes the catch along the line of scrimmage. Is going to be pushed back. Still fighting forward for yardage. Is going to be pushed out shy of the 30. Short gain on first down.
Again, this is something we see Renda do an awful lot, especially in this Dodge offense. We talked about the perimeter game, these quick little pop passes. These are extension of the run game, essentially, Chris. They're going to hit Knowles out there. They're going to hit Boyd. They're going to get the receivers out there blocking out in front, use them as offensive linemen, and try to get some rushing yards on the perimeter.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 after the gain of 4 on first down. Don't believe a timeout was indicated, but both teams going back to their respective sidelines, now returning to the field. The rest of that Eaton defense, the tackles, seniors Elias Aguirre and Christian Stewart, linebackers Joby Maruka and Xavier Whitus. Ramsey Villarreal is that bandit that Robert talked about. You see 5 defensive backs out there for the Eagles. They show blitz with the linebackers. Now back them off the line. Play clock down to 5. They bring the tight end Fraga in motion. Will keep it on the ground, give it to Penn. Puts a hand on the ground to keep himself upright and gets the first down. Nice balance by Davis Penn to move the chains for a Dragon Den first down.
You love what you see. You see Renda didn't like what he saw. Look to the sidelines, check the play, hit the inside zone. The middle opened up, the C's parted. Great run by Penn for the first down.
Defensive backs for the Eagles, the safeties Carter Valdez and Ben Hicks. The corners are Sage, Noel Allen, and Carl Jones. Gain of 6 on second down for Davis Penn. And on first down, Renda swings it out into the flat. This is Gunter staying in bounds, making a man miss, and picking enough yardage to move the chains. Another Dragon Den first down.
You got to love Blake Gunter. He's leading the team in receiving yards. He's been such a weapon this year. The young man has developed into a fine receiver. He gets there on the out route. He gets on the corner. And I talk about Blake Gunter, what he brings. The yards after catch, Chris, he makes and creates, and that's what makes him so difficult to cover.
Picks up 15 on that play. The ball at midfield. From the right hash, Renda, quick pass over the middle, completes it to Caden Mackey, who falls forward.
We talked about the play action on this, Chris. You know, the Carroll offensive line is firing out like it's inside zone. The defense and linebackers don't know what it is, and it allows the receivers to get behind the backers. Great catch, great read by Renda. You're going to see this all night from this Carroll offense.
Eaton defense last week gave up 264 rushing yards. Week before that, 362. Week before that, 287. So they've been susceptible on the ground as Renda flips it to Luke Jacquemart, who is in motion. He goes out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, but a flag comes in.
Holding. Offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
We get Nathan Damaraki for the hold on that play. But talking about those running backs, looking back at some of the numbers preparing for Eaton, this District 4-6A has a couple of the best running backs in the entire area in it. LD Bells, Brendan Glenn, the third leading rusher in North Texas. Carlos Sela from Northwest leads all ball carriers in yardage at the 6A level. So they've faced some tough backs the last 3 weeks. Davis Penn can be added to that list. Swing it out into the flat. Gunter again gets upended along the sideline. Short gain on the play.
And look for Riley to do a little bit of tempo here. I think getting up and getting this Eaton defense in bad positions, keep them on their heels, keep the plays going. Hitting Blake out there into the flats. You're going to see this quite a bit here, and I want to be afraid that they're going to take a shot deep here on this defense.
3rd and long, 9 yards to go. They've got to get it to the 40. One of your keys was to stay ahead of the chains. Carroll find themselves behind them here. Back goes out of the backfield in motion. Renda pumps, flushed out to his left, throws on the run, looking for Penn. It falls incomplete. In coverage there for Eaton was Sage Noel Allen, the junior corner. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, we talked about Carroll staying ahead of the chains. First drive, you're unable to do that. Again, uncharacteristic of this Dragon offense. Great pressure. We talked about Amon Griffin. He's one of their dudes on their defense. And, you had Penn out of the backfield trying to get on the wheel route. Great coverage by Eaton.
So Zach Hayes will punt. The senior going to Louisiana Tech, averaging 44.5 yards a punt this season. Out the high school level is just outstanding. Back to receive, a fair catch called for. Dragons awfully close, ball comes out. Carroll says they have it, a flag comes in though. Wonder if a white jersey may have gotten just a touch too close there. 30-yard punt. Ramsey Villarreal, the senior who's also their starting bandit, was back to receive.
I can't tell if it was
really
too close or there was contact made, Chris.
It's really close. Great look at it on the Recoat Revolution replay.
Looks like it might have got the face mask of Chin.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
So uncharacteristic start to the game for the Dragons. A couple of penalties here early. Put them behind the chains, forced them to punt it away, and then on special teams, which performed so well a week ago, giving away 15 yards here to start. This brings the Eaton offense onto the field, led by the sophomore quarterback, Kalika Nisa. He goes by Rocky. 714 passing yards, 5 touchdowns on the season. They come out with 4 receivers, 1 back to his left. And they will keep it on the ground on 1st down. This is Micah Rivers getting the carry. Check that. It is Chris Duhart getting the 1st down carry for the Eagles and gained 6 yards.
And Duhart's a guy that Coach Miller said he has all the moves, he has the speed, he's a dynamic player. Keep your eye out on Duhart. He is the team's leading rusher. He is a force in that backfield.
Duhart, 47 carries, 242 yards on the year coming into the night. Bunch receivers to the right. Nisa looking to throw. Goes left side short. It's complete. And they may have lost yardage on that play. Completed it to Duhart out in the flat. Or check that, Warren Simmons out in the flat.
Well, you can see the little wiggle on Duhart, and great job by Robbie Latimer finishing off and not allowing to get the extra yardage. Now, this is a critical, point for Eaton. Your 3rd down, 3rd and 6. You've got to convert these against this Dragon defense, really to keep this Dragon offense off the field, Chris.
Trips right, ball on the left hash. 3rd and 6. Nisa will throw again. Faces pressure coming up the middle, and they got him. A sack by the Dragons. It was Crawford Taylor coming in on a twist up front. We highlighted Jake Lucky before the game. He was in on it too.
You love it. You talk about getting pressure with 4 men on the field just for this Dragon defensive line. You get a tackle defensive end twist. Crawford Taylor comes through as the looper, untouched by the Eaton offensive line, in for the sack. That's something we've seen all year by Crawford Taylor. He's a young man, just got his first offer from Georgetown. He's emerging this year as a force.
Loss of 10 on the play. The punt is going to be fair caught at the 41-yard line by Brock Boyd. Quarterback sack brought to you by Life's Medicine. Start your ultimate recovery with Life's Medicine, located on Southlake Boulevard. So the teams trade punts on their first possessions. Eaton did not pick up a first down on its first possession. Dragons regain the ball at their own 41.
You know, Dodge and company, you've got to lean on this offensive line. You got to get behind them, make this defense stay honest so you can open it up with the passing game.
Renda throws short on the right side. It is caught, tackled inbounds is Brock Boyd. Short gain on the play. Into the game at running back on this possession for the Dragons is the junior, Brooks Biggers. Bring a tight end in as well. Gunter will motion out to the left. Renda pumps towards Gunter, now looking down the left sideline. All alone is Brody Knowles. Makes the catch at the 30, inside the 20, 10, 5. He is in for the touchdown. Brody Knowles makes the long catch and run of 54 yards to get into the end zone and put the Dragons on top first.
You got to love the patience by Angelo Renda. He does a pump fake, allows this play to develop. And what I love is Boyd's a decoy. He's taking the secondary, he's moving him out of placement, and then you have Knowles underneath. Great pitch and catch by Renda to Knowles. And again, you know, it's so hard to cover these Dragon receivers, Chris.
Touchdown presented by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. Gavin Strange comes on for the CLC point after, and it is good. So after punting on their first possession, there's a flag down in the end zone. Wait and see what this call is going to be, but after punting on their first possession, Dragons score quickly on their second.
There are 12 players on defense. That penalty's been declined. Results of the play. This kick is good.
So just under halfway through the first quarter, it's Carroll 7 and Eaton nothing on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey everyone, this is Michael Baum, General Manager at Hearst and Louisville Autoplex. We are longtime supporters of all things Dragons. This season, if you want to show up to the game in style, come see me or Brees Higgins, where we have the largest selection of late model, high-end, pre-owned trucks and SUVs. As a family-owned and operated dealership, we'll treat you like part of our family. Come see us on either side of the Metroplex and get a new ride today. Shop us online 24/7 at HurstAutoplex.com. Go Dragons!
Dragons up 7-0 after a 54-yard Brody Knowles touchdown reception. It was, my math's not going to be good, but it was roughly 90% of the yards on the drive. 59-yard drive.
You're good at math.
59-yard drive. 2 plays, 46 seconds for Carroll. So Strange will kick it away here to the Eagles. On the return, it's Keaton Novotny. He's hit inside the 10. They're going to mark his forward progress to the 11-yard line. A 5-yard return. Great kick coverage by Carroll.
You talk about this, the Eaton offense. This is such a dynamic young team. You have Rocky Niza. He's a guy that went to Adams Junior High, undefeated his career at the middle school level, went 9-1 his freshman year. He's a guy who really solidified his job in the spring. Coach Miller said there really wasn't a doubt. He's so involved in 7-on-7 camps, and he's got perimeter players. You know, he's got big, rangy, athletic receivers. And I think it's really about just him getting comfortable in the pocket and learning how to make those decisions. So he's a dynamic player, just maybe a little early.
On first down, they give it to Duhart. He is hitting the backfield and stopped. Robbie Ladd there for the tackle for Carroll. But the rest of this offensive group for the Eagles, Duhart will also see Micah Rivers a lot in the backfield, another senior running back. The receivers, a couple of sophomores they're excited about, in Juju Peoples and TJ Holt, plus the junior Warren Simmons and the senior Ethan Delaney. The offensive line left to right, Wyatt Robertson, Ben Wise, Colton Ray, Ben Lane, and Daniel Dickerson. Lane, the only returning starter on that offensive line.
Lane's the guy they had at offensive tackle to start the year, moved him down to guard. And Coach Miller said Daniel Dickerson, the right tackle, is the guy who's really emerged as the most consistent player on that line.
Nisa throws, completes it to Delaney along the right sideline. He goes out of bounds, tackled there by Luke Bussman.
It's so important for Coach Miller to get, Rocky in a rhythm here, get some easy throws underneath his belt. It's hard if you can't establish that run game. But, he's a talented player. He's going to get some plays here and there.
Delaney picked up 9 on second down, so it'll be 3rd and 4. As the play clock winds down to 7. Nisa calls for the snap. Has a little bit of time, throws short. Caught at the 20-yard line, staying in bounds before he is finally pushed out along the Eaton sideline is Keaton Novotny, the senior wide receiver, who picks up the Dragon Den first down.
It's a really good job. They had Robbie Ladd on a blitz. He stayed in the pocket. Rocky stayed in the pocket, delivered a nice strike. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to stay patient in that pocket, allow it to develop, and make the right reads.
14 yards on the reception to move the chains up to the 31. Nisa hands it off to Duhart this time, trying to spin away from contact, can't do it, just gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
And Dragon fans at home, if you take a look at that Dragon sideline, a new thing that Coach Dodds started last week was the juice box for the juiciest player on the sideline who's getting the most rowdy energy. So keep an eye out on that sidelines.
Bringing the most juice tonight?
Bring the juice, Chris.
2nd and 10. Nisa will throw, goes left side, incomplete. The intended receiver was Warren Simmons. Falls incomplete. Threw into a crowd of 3 Dragon defenders. Fortunate it falls to the turf for the Eagles. So they find themselves behind the chains here on 3rd and 10. They'll shuffle a lot of receivers in and out of the game. Well, the Eagles keeping fresh legs out wide. 3rd down, Nisa goes over the middle again, incomplete. Was looking for Novotny again. Looked like he was not quite out of his route when that one hit the turf.
Yeah, pressure by Jake Lucky. We talked about Jake Lucky in the pregame, the dimension and the energy that he brings to that defense. And what's standing out right now for this Dragon defense is this defensive line. They're creating havoc. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. Just like we mentioned, our keys to the game, you've got to put pressure on the young quarterback to make mistakes.
So 2 punt returners once again here for the Dragons. Harris and Boyd. This time Harris fields it at the 35-yard line. Some running room across midfield. Harris breaking free across the 40. Trying to cut it back, has blockers in front of him, and finally spun down at the 30-yard line. We saw Harris break free for a couple of big returns last week, and he picks up right where he left off.
The guy wide, baby, get in on it. Parker Harris does it. He's electrifying. We're waiting for that moment. He fully breaks it. But I tell you, the field position that he puts this Carroll Dragon offense in sets them up for success. Terrific job, Parker Harris.
34-yard return for Parker Harris, or 34-yard punt, 35-yard return for Parker Harris. Ball at the 30-yard line. Renda with Penn back in the game alongside. Boyd goes in motion left to right. Penn gets the handoff across the 25, has blocking out there from Knowles, makes a couple of defenders miss inside the 10, and finally caught from behind by a couple of Eagles defenders. But Brody Knowles springs him, and Davis makes a couple of guys miss.
What a great job of hitting between Tristan Dare and Will Barley. Watch this, right between the left tackle and left guard. And what a move by Davis Penn. Talk about a shake and bake. Tremendous run by the young man. And talking about the vision of Penn just developing since the knee injury, doing a tremendous job in this Dragon backfield.
Gets 24 yards there, puts it inside the 10-yard line, a Dragon Den first down. First and goal from the 6. Penn gonna get it again, plunges into the end zone, ball comes out, no ruling yet. And it's gonna be a touchdown. I think he crossed the plane before the ball was stripped away from him, so Davis Penn finds the end zone, and it's 13-0 Dragons.
All Davis Penn, this offensive line, hits right between Kerry Clayton and C.J. Johnson. No one is there, and then it's all Davis Penn getting into pay dirt. Tremendous job.
Great look at it there. It's close, but ruled a touchdown. Nice effort.
It crossed the pylon, Chris. It wasn't a fumble.
Nice effort by Ahmad Griffin, but Penn getting into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown's brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. As Gavin Strange comes on for the point after try.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 1. That's his first unsportsmanlike conduct regarding disqualification. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So Dragons with another penalty that will affect field position on the ensuing kickoff as Strange comes on for the CLC Roofing point after try. Carroll's been showing this formation with a couple of tight ends out wide before bringing them back into the set the last few weeks. Strange puts the right foot into it, and it is good. So 3:04 to go in the first quarter. It is Carroll 14 and Eaton 0 on the Dragon Sports Network.
Recoat Revolution, your one-day floor solution. I'm Joe Worrell, Southlake resident, Air Force veteran, and proud father of 2 dragons. Our one-day sandless, dustless process refreshes flooring without the mess, smell, and expense of traditional refinishing. If your floors have damage, wear from furniture, or even little dragon talons, we can tackle those issues to have you back in a clean home that night. Sandless, dustless, odorless, done by dinner. Recoat Revolution. Go Dragons!
Dr. Angela Bowers would like to invite you to visit Southlake Dermatology, which serves patients throughout the Metroplex in medical, surgical, and cosmetic dermatology. We recommend always using a zinc oxide sunscreen, such as Elta MD, and utilizing HelioCare, which is a sun protective pill. We have seen the incidence of skin cancers on the rise, including melanoma, which is the most harmful type. With yearly skin checks, we will be able to find skin cancer much earlier. Read about skin cancer and sunscreen options online at southlakedermatology.com.
After a penalty, Carroll will kick off from its own 25-yard line. It's going to be fielded and returnable for the Eagles here. Working his way across the 35-yard line for Eden is Juju Peoples. Carroll's last drive, 3 plays, 30 yards, cut in 51 seconds. Carroll 2 scoring drives have taken all of about a minute and 40 seconds or so off the clock. Only had to cover about 84 yards on those 2 drives. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. They'll keep it on the ground here. Duhart up the middle. Big hit delivered by the linebacker. Will Lyons coming up from the spot and stopping Duhart after a gain of a yard.
We talk about this linebacking crew, but it starts up front. Marcus Browse, great job on just taking his lineman straight down the line, and then Robbie Ladd coming over the top, and Will Lyons making the play. Tremendous job by this Dragon defense. Talk about discipline, playing your gas, playing assignment football at its best.
They've got Delaney, the senior receiver, lined up off the hip of the right tackle. Duhart in the game in the backfield, one receiver right. Play clock down to 1. Are they going to get this off? They just get the snap off. Nisa play action. Now rolling out to his right is just going to throw it out of bounds. Nearly intercepted. To get a little bit further out of bounds than that, Luke Bussman nearly able to make a pick.
That was great coverage by the Dragons and Luke Bussman. It's creating a tough situation for Rocky in the Eaton offense. Getting pressure on the defensive line. You're not having a whole lot of guys having to blitz. You're getting guys in coverage. Things aren't there. And so it's really tough, especially as a young quarterback, to create. He's going to have to start doing something with his legs to keep this defense offense.
Eagles 1 for 3 on 3rd down, facing a 3rd and 9 here. He's over the middle, caught, ball came out. They're going to rule this incomplete. He was looking for Juju Peoples, that sophomore we talked about, but Gavin Strange coming in to break it up.
What a hit by Gavin Strange. He's talking about just keeping your eyes on the receiver. And what a shot, and great job getting the ball, popping it out, stopping the big play.
The Eagles will punt for the 3rd time already tonight, just in the first 10 minutes of game action. Ertl is also the punter for this group. Back to Boyd and Harris. This one going to hit at the 35-yard line. The Dragons will get away from it. Takes an Eagles roll and will come to a stop at the 22. We saw Parker Harris spring another big return here earlier in this first quarter. Has Carroll done anything differently in its return game that has allowed for these bigger returns?
I want to give you some magical, potion that says that, they're doing this incredibly. What they're doing is just the basics, right? They're getting after it. They're getting their assignment. They're maintaining their blocks, and then you add the dimension of Parker Harris with his burst. It's an easy formula, Chris, and then when you execute it, you get great results, and that's what the Dragon special teams are getting right now.
Well, empty backfield for the first time tonight for the Dragons. 3 receivers to the right. Rendon, a design quarterback keeper. Big hole up the middle across the 35. Trying to make a defender miss at the 40. Is brought down at the 41-yard line after a long gain on 1st down of 19 yards. Carl Jones finally making the stop.
As we were talking about Eaton having to keep the Dragon defense honest with their feet and do some scrambling, we see Angel Rinda. He's so much that
personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 15. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the run. It's 1st down.
Again, Angelo is so multi-dimensional as you get a personal foul versus Eaton. Again, eating away the chains on this defense. You're giving another opportunity for Carroll. But Angel Rinda, he can do it in the air. He can do it by his legs. We're talking about the development of Rinda in his game. Things are slowing down for him. Great job.
So just his 14th rush of the season. We haven't seen him use his legs as much, but this is something we saw last year as well. His rushing game developed as the year went on. Here he escapes the pocket, tucks it across the 40, 35, and out of bounds along that Eagles sideline. Another Dragon Den, or close to a 1st down. They'll mark it about a yard short.
Again, smart play by Rinda, feeling a little bit of pressure, escaping the pocket, not staying in there, and then getting out of bounds and not taking the shot. Smart play by the senior quarterback.
Biggers into the game at running back. Renda throws short, complete. Gunter across the 30, out of a couple of arm tackles and out of bounds along that Dragon sideline. Talking about Blake Gunter racking up the yak. Doing it again here.
Yak. Yakety yak, Chris. You talk about just catching the ball and making plays, and this is all effort, and this is all Blake Gunter. You just watch him, yards after catch, one defender miss, another defender miss. This is becoming a ritual for the young man. This is why he is one of the top receivers in the state of Texas.
Dragons keep it moving here, 1st and 10. Renda goes right sideline, incomplete. The ball placement on that throw to Gunter was marked closely by the linebacker, Joby Maruka. Renda kind of placed it in a spot where only Gunter could make the reception and then turn and keep his momentum going upfield.
It was great placement, and just the ability of Gunter coming back and getting it and making the play, the athleticism to do that is spot on and incredible.
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
There is an Eaton player down here with less than 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dragons up a couple of scores, 14-0. Touchdowns by Brody Knowles and Davis Penn so far tonight for Carroll. Defender for the Eagles down away from where the last play was. This is an Eaton team. Comes in 2-1 in district play, and defender is up and walking off on his own for the Eagles. It's like Caden Tavares, sophomore cornerback.
It's the Eaton team that's been close in every matchup. You know, the score differential is very slim. Very easily could they be a 5-0 team, 6-0 team.
Flag comes out here. Yeah, that point differential. Eaton has scored 100.
Brother snap, false start, offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Eaton has scored 122 points, allowed 126 points. So awfully close in that point differential for the Eagles. Dragons backed up 5 yards, 2nd and 15. Renda looking, goes over the middle, caught Boyd, 10-yard line, 1st down. The safeties were split out wide for the Eagles. The middle of the field was open. Boyd hauls it in.
Renda just threads a needle, between the two Eaton defenders for a slant route to Boyd. And again, you get it near Boyd, he's gonna catch it. He's like a magnet out there, Chris. Anything that gets close to him is gonna stick to him.
17-yard pickup to move the chains. 1st and goal. Biggers gets it inside the 5, upended there by Villarreal. Gets to about the 4.5-yard line on what will be the final play of the first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books. Carroll will have 2nd and goal from its own 4-yard, or from the Eagles' 4-yard line when we come back with the second quarter. After 1, Dragons up 14-0 on the Dragon Sports Network.
As a Dragon, it's all about protecting the tradition. As a church, it's our mission to make more deeply committed followers of Jesus. This is Todd Renner from White's Chapel in Southlake. For over 150 years, White's Chapel has been a part of this community. And though times have changed, our need for the gospel of Jesus Christ, our need to worship and grow and serve, our need to shine the light into the darkness hasn't. That's why White's Chapel is a church where tradition meets today.
The Dragons will have a chance to punch it in here on the first play of the second quarter, already leading 14-0 over the Eagles at Northwest ISD Stadium tonight. In the first quarter, Dragons rack up 181 yards, 69 on the ground, 112 through the air. Robert, just 15 total yards for Eaton in that first quarter.
Wow.
They were 1 of 4 on 3rd down. So the Eagles offense looking for answers here as the Dragon offense looks to make it a 3-score game. So ready for the start of the quarter. First play will be a 2nd and goal snap from the 4.5-yard line. They give it to Biggers on the ground again, trying to find his way into the end zone. Going to be stopped at the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
You've seen the past few plays just getting behind this interior group of Will Barley, Kerry Clayton, and C.J. Johnson, finding some success there. They're going to lean on this offensive line as you get closer and closer to this goal line.
Let's see if they go 3 times in a row to Biggers. Fraga, tight end in the backfield. Biggers goes to the left side, Orenda. They give it to Brooks one more time. This time he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Brooks Biggers, who played such a big role for the Dragons in week 1 this year, finding pay dirt tonight, makes it 20-0.
He's just a guy to find, has a nose for the end zone. He's explosive, and he just gets behind Will Barley and Tristan Dare and Kerry Clayton and breaks a tackle, carrying defenders into the end zone for a Dragon touchdown.
Touchdown brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. Strange on for the point after try out of the hold of Zach Hayes, and it is good. So 2 plays into the second quarter. Carroll leads at 21-0 on Eaton on the Dragons Sports Network.
Hey, did you hear? Somebody didn't want Feed Store barbecue. That's right, it's true. One fella the other day, he wanted Feed Store chicken fried steak, and another asked for a Feed Store hamburger. And one scamp, well, he even had the nerve to ask for Feed Store burn ends. Yeah, Feed Store is famous for its barbecue, but there's so much more. Order online at feedstorebbq.com and go Dragons.
Dragon fans, the wait is over. The Dragon Den is your one-stop shop for spirit wear, gear, and everything green, black, and white. Show your pride and represent Southlake Carroll everywhere you go. Protect the tradition and shop at the Den. We are open every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and all freshman, JV, and varsity home games. The Dragon Den is the perfect spot to gear up for game day. Go Dragons!
Dragons up 3 scores, 21-0 into the early stages of the second quarter as Gavin Strange sends one into the end zone for a touchback for Carroll. And Eaton's offense, which we told you a second ago, had gained just 15 yards in the first quarter, looking for anything against this Dragon defense.
It's an Eaton offense that, maybe not the right word is anemic, but he hasn't put up a whole lot of yardage all year. Just pretty split down the line comparative to a Dragon offense, what we're accustomed to seeing. They have struggles. They have an offensive line that's been shuffling around just a little bit since the start of the year. You got a young quarterback, but you do have a lot of talent. I think, Chris, you can agree, they have the talent on the field, and it seems like we talk a lot about this with Eaton every year.
Yeah, Eaton always a team that seems to have a dynamic quarterback, one that can hurt you with both his arm and his legs. These are just the sophomores. Carroll shows blitz here. They bring it. Chen off the edge. Flag comes in. Play is blown dead.
Delay game. Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
I think what coaches might say sometimes, Chris, is, they look really good getting off the bus, at times. And over the years, they've had great teams. They've had teams that competed. They've had down years. Now they just have a mix of a very young quarterback.
Last playoff trip for the Eagles was back in 2021. Play fake here. Nisa has time. Rolling out to his right, looking for somewhere to go. Is going to be drilled in the backfield at the 15-yard line. Big hit put on him by the Dragons. As coming up from the safety spot was Landon Harris for the sack.
You talk about a form tackle, Landon Harris just tracking Rocky as he's scrambling, dipping his hips. Great job finishing through the tackle, and just a hit. Tremendous job by Landon Harris.
Sack brought to you by Life's Medicine. Start your ultimate recovery with Life's Medicine, located on Southlake Boulevard. A loss of 3 on the plate. Get it on the flat this time. Spun out of bounds after maybe a gain of a yard. is TJ Holt, the sophomore receiver. Harris again on that stop. Couple of big plays for the junior safety on this series.
Yeah, you talk about Eaton. They're typically a 2-by-2 team with 2 receivers out, flanked on each side. They love the smash concept. At that time, trying to take a play from the Carroll playbook, get a little pop pass. Unfortunately, the Carroll defenders can beat those blocks. A tremendous job on that perimeter and getting the tackle.
A 3rd and long. They've got to get all the way to the 35-yard line. Ball back at the 18. Nisa is going to swing it out to his running back. Flag comes in. That was intended for Micah Rivers.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation, offense. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 88. Those penalties all set. It'll be 3rd down.
So Rivers, the running back, had he made the catch, was on his way to being run straight into a Carroll defender. The offsetting penalties will replay the down. Nisa quickly over the middle, completes it. Huge hit over the middle there by the Dragons. Did the ball come out or was it incomplete? They're going to rule an incomplete pass here, as going over the middle was Juju Peoples and getting rocked by the Dragons once again. And Nisa starting to put some of these receivers in harm's way with some of these throws.
It's tough. It's a quick slant to Juju. And I tell you what a hit by Landon Harris, his second big hit of the drive. That's how you come down from that linebacker spot, Chris, and deliver a blow. Great job by this Carroll defense. Can't speak enough of them so far. Absolutely dominant.
15 yards after 1 quarter of play. Eagles lost yardage on that drive. The punt to Parker Harris going to be returnable. Fields it at the 42. Running across left to right. Has blockers out in front of him across the 40. Could he go all the way this time? Inside the 15. Harris to the house for the touchdown. Parker Harris, after looking like he was coming close the last couple of returns, springs one 57 yards for the touchdown.
Of course, we've been talking about it. When is this going to explode into a touchdown? We talk about the dimension he brings to the special teams and terrific blocking that these guys are doing on the receiving end. But just watch the vision of Parker Harris and the explosiveness, just finding pay dirt, outrunning the entire Eaton special teams. It was just a matter of time, Chris.
Last 3 or 4 times he's touched the ball have been electric for the Dragons, and this time he finds the end zone for the Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate touchdown. Gavin Strange on for the point after try, brought to you by CLC Roofing. That one is good. And with 9.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, it's Carroll 28 and Eaton nothing on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hello, Dragon fans. Julie Walter here from the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title, located right here in Southlake. It's Dragon football season, and as a mother of 4 former Dragons, I truly know how busy our fall schedules can get. At the Baker Firm, we provide great customer service with our knowledgeable escrow team, and we pride ourselves with a boutique-style title office that will close our customers anywhere in the DFW area. So, as you get ready to sell, buy, or refinance your home, be sure to tell your local agent or lender you want to close with the Baker Firm, and you are sure to score a touchdown.
Hey, Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, recharge with red light therapy, and fuel your body with our powerful Slim Shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Juju Peoples on the return for the Eagles. He could go inside the 20 all the way back for the touchdown. Juju Peoples took it out of his own end zone. Goes about 101 yards for the touchdown, and the Eagles are on the board, but what a burst from this young sophomore.
What's incredible, Chris, is that he took that from 2 to 3 yards deep in the end zone and took it to the house. We talk about the young sophomore, Juju Peoples. He's a star in the making for this Eaton team, and what a dynamic answer to the Dragon score.
He answers the Parker Harris punt return for a touchdown with a kick return touchdown of his own. Touchdowns tonight brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. The kicker, Peyton Ertl, on for the point after try, presented by CLC Roofing. And that one is good. Just like that, Eaton with a response. 9:12 to go in the second quarter. It's Carroll 28, Eaton 7 on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey Dragon fans, this is Robert Clayton with the Clayton team at Clayton Real Estate. Karen Young and I have been proudly serving Southlake for over 30 years in residential resale, family owned and operated, and former Dragons. Being a Dragon graduate, you truly understand what it means to be a Dragon. Tradition, excellence, and a winning team. That's what we provide our clients, the best service and experience in the industry with a winning tradition. Dragons representing Dragons. Call us today at 817-894-4152 or visit us on the web at www.dragonrealtors.com. Go Dragons.
$28-7 now in favor of the Dragons after the Juju Peoples kick return for a touchdown. And Ertl will kick it off here for Eaton. Mentioned earlier he had that walk-off field goal against Central last week to lift Eaton to a 34-31 win over Central. Here's Harris on the return again for the Dragons across the 30-yard line. And we talked to Eagles head coach Ellis Miller during the week, and he said, Ertl was a quarterback growing up, not a converted kicker from another sport or anything like that. So he's used to football situations, used to a little bit more pressure, and was able to hit that one from 47 to win the game.
He's got some range, but you talk about these kickers being athletes.
Clock operator, please start the 25-second clock on the whistle. Clock operator, play clock on the whistle. Thank you.
You talk about these kickers just being athletes. You look at the Carroll side, Gavin Strange, and then the injured
Zach Hayes.
Yes,
he's able to punt. Has not been at DN, but they expect him back within a few weeks. As this one is complete to Mackey. Big play on first down for the Dragons. Out of bounds along the Eagles sideline.
Again, Caden Mackey, he's one, I've said it before, he's one of these dual sport stars. He's a star pitcher for the Dragon football team. Great job and just on the receiving end this year for the Dragons. Not only his blocking, but the catching and getting upfield and showing the speed. Great delivery and great catch from Renda to Mackey.
33 yards for the Dragon Den first down. At the 35, Renda fakes the pitch out. Under pressure now, being chased to his left. Couple of guys chasing him. Fires one across the field, complete at the 30-yard line. And this could go inside the 5. And out of bounds there goes Brody Knowles. What a play by Angelo Renda. Was being chased by the top 2 pass rushers on this team and somehow turns it into a big game.
Angelo Renda, just the X factor, right? The play breaks down. Don't worry. It is backyard football. Hits Knowles on a strike.
Keep it on the ground here. Penn inside the 5, spitting down to the 3. Brody Knowles doing the rest before he's finally pushed out of bounds.
Chris, that's a big guy. That's a big human being to try to bring down at all of 6'6". I tell you what, so dynamic on that perimeter for this Dragon team.
So it'll be 2nd and goal here. We bring the tight end Fraga into the game with Knowles by himself at the top of your screen. Gunter comes in motion, right side of the formation. Brenda going to give it to Penn, powering his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Lowered the shoulder into the cornerback, Sage Noel Allen, and got into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
Just loved us getting behind that right side. You had Kerry Clayton and the sophomore C.J. Johnson and Nathan Domrocky. And what eyes by Penn on reversing the field, hitting the back front side, starting backside, and then muscling his way into the end zone. Tremendous effort by the Dragon running back.
Touchdown brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. Strange on for the point after try. It is up and good, presented by CLC Roofing. A drive of 4 plays, 68 yards that took 1:14 off the clock as Carroll up 35-7 on Eaton on the Dragon Sports Network.
Looking for a roofer who truly knows Southlake? My name is Chad Cross, owner of CLC Roofing, a longtime Southlake resident who's proud to serve this community. For decades, we have protected Dragon Country with roofs built to handle the scorching sun, sudden hail, and high winds, all while keeping your homes looking beautiful. CLC Roofing proudly supports the Carroll ISD, the Carroll Booster Club, and local events. Supporting Southlake is part of who we are. We know every HOA standard, city code, and neighborhood nuance because we live here too. When the storm hits, we're not hours away. We're already in your community, ready to help the moment you need us. Our crews are safety certified and led by project managers who always focus on details. From minor repairs to full replacements, we bring expert craftsmanship and clear communication to every project. We only install top-tier roofing materials, and as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, we can offer extended warranties most roofers cannot, because trust and quality go hand in hand. Protect the tradition, Southlake.
Kickoff bounces in the end zone for a touchback, so that one not returned by Peoples. Though the one he brought back was from a couple of yards deep. Might as well take every shot.
Maybe a little gas, Chris. Just the Carroll offense scoring so quickly, you don't have time to recover.
Dragon offense has been scoring very quickly tonight. Longest drive was the first one of the game. Took 2.5 or nearly 3 minutes. 3 of the 4 scoring drives have been 1:14 or less. They keep it on the ground here. Micah Rivers trying to spin his way into some sort of space. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe half a yard on the play. Robbie Ladd getting up from the bottom of the pile.
They're trying to see if Micah Rivers can spark this offense, but there's just no room to run on that Dragon defensive line, playing so disciplined, gap-oriented, and allowing those linebackers to play over the top and make the plays.
2nd and long here for the Eagles. Snap, give it to Rivers again, puts his head down, trying to find some space. Nothing there again. This Dragon defensive line closing things down quickly. But Eaton really hasn't been able to get anything going outside the tackles either.
They haven't been able to. You know, it's not an easy task against this Dragon defense. They're so physical on the perimeter up front. The linebacking crew, it's just hard when you're not that multidimensional team yet. You haven't really developed that passing game for a young Eaton team.
For the Dragons, seeing Caden Hodges get some run in there with the defensive line. Now Hages will run off. Jake Lucky will come on. Play clock down to 1, and Eaton's going to be forced to take a timeout. The Eagles substituted late. Carroll was trying to run on.
Timeout.
A different defender as well.
Eaton.
So the snap
their first
was
of the
held.
half.
Timeout brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. We'll take it as well. 6.5 minutes to go in the second. Dragons up 35-7 on Eaton on the Dragon Sports Network.
Southlake Dermatology offers specialized acne regimens using a combination of prescriptions and procedures that are covered by insurance. The Specialized Acne Treatment Center offers a full range of services with access to samples and rebates that are only available through a dermatologist. Our office is on the 3rd floor of the Southlake Medical Building, attached to Methodist Hospital off of 114. Find us on Facebook or search our website at southlakedermatology.com.
Eaton head coach Ellis Miller forced to use a timeout as the play clock was winding down before this third down snap. Eagles just 1 of 5 on third down tonight. Trips to the right, Nisa out of the shotgun. Looking to throw from the left hash, going to take a shot down the left sideline. It is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the Dragons. Austin Busman comes up with it for his second interception on the season.
This Eaton offense in Rocky's just trying to find some type of play, get it vertical down the field. But unfortunately, Austin Busman was right there step for step for the Eaton receiver. Makes it for an easy pick. And for a young quarterback, you got to be careful of just throwing the ball up there, just try to make a play. But I think this Eaton offense, they're trying to get something going. It's just been stagnant all night.
Was looking for Warren Simmons down that side of the field. Turnovers brought to you by Paragon Designs. Turn over your next remodel or new home design to Paragon Designs. So still plenty of time left in this second quarter. Angelo Renda will hand off to Davis Penn on first down. Big hole up the middle. He gets across the 45. Ball came out after he was down, the officials say. Close to a first down. Flag on the play.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Either someone wasn't set, Chris, or they weren't lined up correctly. I couldn't tell on that.
Well, if you can't tell,
nobody can tell.
Exactly. 1st and 15 for the Dragons. At the 30, Renda looking to throw. Now going to tuck it and run again up the middle. 35, picking his way to the 40-yard line. That could be a face mask or a horse collar. Saw his head turn, his upper body turn. Didn't see quite where that hand snuck in.
We talked about feeling the pressure and Renda coming up and making a play with his legs. This Eaton defense, they're going to give him another ability, a 15-yard penalty for a face mask. So they give the Dragons a first down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 33. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Chris, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that one.
Correction, number 32.
I think that's the first penalty I've gotten right all year.
Maybe in 3 years.
Maybe in 3 years, Chris.
That's one more than
my game's evolving, Chris. Make me feel better. Say thank you. Say awesome job.
That's one more than I've gotten right in 3 years. We may have gotten some false starts right over the years. Can you delay of game? We
don't call holdings either.
We can see a 0 on the play clock. First down. Renda going to take a shot down the left sideline, looking for Knowles. He has got him inside the 10 and out of bounds there at the 8. Brody Knowles, the big target on the outside, hauls it in.
You get Brody Knowles a step on the corner with his size and ability. You just throw it up a little jump ball for Brody Knowles, and he's going to go get it. You give him 2 steps on a guy, he's going to win it every time. He's so tall, 6'6", brings it down. What a game Brody Knowles is having tonight.
41 yards for Knowles on the reception to put Carroll inside the 10-yard line once again. Knowles now up to 128 receiving yards tonight. We've played a quarter and a half. Arenda keeps it on the ground here. This one going to be bottled up after a short gain for Davis Penn inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, have you seen this Dragon offense? Once they get inside the 20, they get behind this Dragon offensive line. As you see, C.J. Johnson, the sophomore right guard's helmet came off. And you've got Nick Wilson coming in at right guard. Nick's a senior. Big body guy. Trust me, they're going to keep leaning on this offensive line, even though big C.J. Johnson's out.
Tight end to the right side of that set. Davis going to get it again. Up the gut, lowers the shoulder, reaches across the goal line. Touchdown, number 3 for Davis Penn tonight. Dragons having a ton of success on the ground. It's 41-7.
All effort here, getting behind Tristan Dare and Will Barley. Great job and great block by Fraga as well. Springs Davis Penn, and watch the second effort by Penn just to try to find pay dirt. Tremendous job.
So 3 touchdowns tonight for Davis Penn. Touchdowns brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. Gavin Strange on for the CLC Roofing point after, and he converts. 4:59 to go in the second quarter. It's Carroll 42, Eaton 7 on the Dragon Sports Network.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Come check out Champions Club at the Mark Southlake. Conveniently located off Southlake Boulevard in Bicentennial Park, Champions Club is your local, safe, and fun destination for fitness, play, and connection. From state-of-the-art workout spaces and exciting group fitness classes to our aquatic center, indoor courts, and party rentals, there's something for everyone. Make Champions Club your home for health, recreation, and family fun. Join today and discover what it means to live like a champion. Go Dragons!
The Dragons have scored on 6 straight, not quite possessions, touches of the football. That includes the punt return by Parker Harris. Thanks to Scott Farrell for that note. Gavin Strange's kickoff going to be returned here by Novotny. He's got running room on the right side. Got a blocker out in front along the Dragons sideline. Tied up there. Flags come in from a couple of directions on the return.
And don't miss the halftime show coming up. Chris, we're going to be welcoming in School Board President Cam Bryan and Superintendent Dr. Jeremy Glenn.
During the return, holding. Receiving team, number 7, 10-yard penalty. First down.
This Eaton offense returns to the field. Sophomore quarterback Rocky Nisa still looking for something here for the Eagles tonight. They bring Delaney to the line from the left side. Keep it on the ground here. Duhart hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard on the play. The Eagles have just 1 first down tonight have gained 17 total yards.
I'm not sure that's good, Chris.
So it's been a rough go for this offense this evening against a Dragon defense that is one of the best in the area. Even after giving up 28 points last week, still holding opponents to 9.5 points per game. On second down, there's the second first down of the game, picked up by the Eagles. Chris Duhart surging forward for the first down, brought to you by the Dragon Den.
You know, the senior Duhart you talk about, Coach Miller, we talked about in the first quarter, just what he brings to as a running back. He's got some shake and bake. He's got some wiggle. He can make people miss. It's just a matter, can he get past that line of scrimmage to get the second level to really exploit his talents, and he's a really fine running back.
Under 3.5 to go before halftime. Nisa takes the snap, gives to Duhart again. This time he's going to be swallowed up by that defensive line. Crawford Taylor, Jake Lucky in on the stop, along with Robbie Ladd, all of them getting in on it.
The whole gang's here tonight, Chris.
Talked about Lucky pregame. We've said that a few times. Just one of the strongest guys that has come through this program.
He packs a punch. You know, he's a great team leader. Always has a high motor. We've seen him do it on special teams, blocking field goals. We've seen him chasing down would-be running backs, getting sacks. He just does it all.
Blocked a field goal this year.
100%.
Second down, Nisa under pressure, spinning away from it. It's maybe a hold against the Eagles. Nisa gets out of bounds. We talk about Lucky's strength. So we get word on what this penalty is.
Holding, offense number 71. That penalty's declined. It's third down.
But when you talk about Lucky, talk about a guy like Trent Wilson last year for the Dragons and just the weights they're moving around. Is there anything different with how players are training now at the high school level, or is it more just specialized training from a younger age?
Well, I think at number one, it starts with the kid, right? He's got to want to have that want to be in the weight room and do those things. So it starts there. But I think you look at a combination of things, especially with this Carroll team, having Coach Castleberry there, and having the ability as a strength coach and what he does to develop young men. This one of the
Carroll uses their first time out of the half.
One of the key ingredients to this Carroll team is Doug Castleberry, the strength coach. So I think you combine that, you got to have the will of the kid, you got to have the skill of it. Some people are just born with strength, but you got to develop it. You got to work hard, you got to live in that weight room. And young Dragons listening, that isn't a joke. You got to get in the weight room, you got to pay the price to earn the right to get on the field, and you just don't do it by doing it every so often. It's religious. I'll tell you, those two guys, Trent Wilson and Jake Lucky, you couldn't keep them out of the weight room. They were in it every single day. It was a ritual for them. So, we talk about those Dragons, and a lot of these Dragons do that day in and day out just to have the right to get on the field, Chris.
Riley Dodge spends a timeout here to get the ball back with a little more time on the clock. Timeouts brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. Carroll will have 2.5 minutes with the ball here. More than enough time for the Dragons. They could fit all but one of their drives into the remaining time on the clock, including every scoring drive. So from a time management perspective, you would imagine Carroll's in good shape. Harris to return this one again for Carroll. William Chen getting a lot of pressure on the kicker, and Ertl kicks it out of bounds. Not sure if it got tipped or if it was just rushed, but Chen was awfully close to blocking that one.
You talk about the field position again. You're starting in enemy territory already. This is something the Dragon offense has done a lot. And I know the Dragons are up 42-7. And some might say, hey, take the gas and put the brakes on a little bit. But again, these are all opportunities for this offense to grow and maybe get a little bit tempo, work a 2-minute drill, do those things to prepare. You got to continue to prepare all season long.
Just a 15-yard punt for Ertl. That pressure applied by William Chen. Carroll ball at the Eagles 42. Play action over the middle. It goes Gunter again inside the 25. Brought down there by Villarreal. A Dragon Den first down. And the big game for Dragon receivers continues.
And this is what I love. You see the tempo from Coach Dodge. Even though it's the end of the second quarter, we're still working here. We're still trying to develop. You're hitting Blake Gunter on a slant route there. Getting hurry up to the line. Let's get in the end zone. Let's get a score.
20 yards on the reception for Gunter. On first down again. Renda looking end zone, looking for Boyd. Has it. Touchdown, Dragons. Brock Boyd finding the end zone for the 9th time this season. And Carroll up 48-7.
A great look from Renda. He sees Boyd just man-to-man coverage. He knows he has it all day. Just lead it up for the big man. He's going to make the play. And what a throw, what a catch by Boyd. There's not a defender in the state of Texas that can guard Brock Boyd. I tell you what, scoring within about 20 seconds, I believe, Chris. Dynamic offense, to say the least, for this Carroll Dragon team.
24 to be exact.
That was close.
You were close.
That was close.
Touchdowns brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. The point after by CLC Roofing. And Gavin Strange makes it 49-7. Carroll over Eaton with 1:57 to go on the second quarter.
2-minute timeout
on the Dragon Sports Network.
For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents of Southlake and the proud parents of 4 dragons. I've been a dedicated volunteer in Southlake for the past 13 years, including serving 7 years on Southlake City Council. I'm the president and managing shareholder at Godwin Bowman, which was established in Dallas in 1980 to serve clients with business litigation issues all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and I'm board certified in civil appellate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Please consider me, Sean McCaskill, and the law firm of Godwin Bowman for your business litigation needs. Please visit our website at www.godwinbowman.com for more information. I promise you that we'll provide big city experience together with small town service.
Well, Angelo Renda with his second touchdown pass of the night. This one to Brock Boyd to put the Dragons up 49-7 with under 2 minutes to go before halftime. Gavin Strange ready to kick it away for Carroll. We talked pregame about Angelo's efficiency. He accounted for 6 total touchdowns last week, 5 through the air, 1 on the ground, and completed 80% of his passes. Want to talk about room for improvement on that completion percentage. Tonight, he is 11 for 12 for 228 yards through the air.
I'll reference it, and this is how old I am. This is the old Phil Simms. Great night he had. But that's what we're seeing more of Angelo Renda. You know, what you're seeing with Renda, I think the progression of him as a quarterback is, you know, when it tends to break down, he's not forcing something. He's going to his legs. He's making smart decisions. He's getting out of bounds. You know, and I think that's just the development of being a senior and where he's at as a quarterback today versus last year.
Also got 29 yards on the ground tonight for 257 total yards. Dragon defense back out there, 1st and 10 for Rocky Nisa and this Eaton offense. Looking for first down number 3 of the night. Duhart gets it, trying to find some room outside. Not much there. Lines in on the stop along with Crawford Taylor.
You got to watch the pursuit by Crawford Taylor. Now, Crawford Taylor's playing the right defensive end, and he's tracking the ball carrier all the way down to the right side of the field, the opposite side of the field of the defense. That's all hustle. That's heart. We talk about this front 4. That's what they deliver game in, game out. That's just hustle. Getting a tackle on the backside for the defensive lineman on an athlete like Duhart it speaks volume as a player, Chris.
these running backs for the Eagles, Duhart and Rivers, are explosive offensive players. What the Dragons are doing is not against guys that are not skilled. This is just the talent of this Carroll defense. Is Duhart trying to make something happen here, tries to escape to the left side. Marcus Brous brings him down there after a short gain.
And people ask, what are they doing? What is this Dragon defense doing that's so special? Chris, they're playing assignment football. They're playing their gaps. They're maintaining their gaps. They're not getting moved. They're allowing the linebackers to fill to play over the top. It's creating nothing for the Eaton offense, being able to capitalize on anything. And it's that simple. It's fundamental Dragon defense.
Duhart and Rivers have combined for 11 carries for 19 yards tonight. This pair coming into the day had carried a total of 94 times for nearly 500 yards on the season. Duhart gets it outside across the 35. Ball comes out. It's going to be picked up by the Dragons, recovered by Carroll. Duhart had the first down, coughed it up. Gavin Strange is there to pick it up, and Carroll will have the ball with 16 seconds to go before halftime.
Again, you see the burst by Duhart. He finally gets a move there on the GY counter. He gets in the second level. He's got some room. But, what a hit by Parker Harris, creating a takeaway for this Dragon defense. We talk about Parker Harris doing it on the special teams. And they're talking about a starter on the defense, making a difference on special teams, on the defense. Incredible job, again, by this Dragon defense.
Couple of timeouts for Carroll. They don't need that much more yardage to get in field goal range for Gavin Strange. Whistle blows before the ball was snapped. This may be a false start on the Dragons.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
So a little bit uncharacteristic for the Dragons tonight. 7 penalties in the first half for 65 yards. Don't think that 5 yards is going to change much in the way of play calling for Riley Dodge, though. Another whistle here.
Clock operator, please set the game clock to 16 seconds.
Adding 1 second to the clock. See if they take a shot here. Talk about
thank you.
Working on these end of half situations for the offense. Would imagine also for the special teams, Strange doesn't get a chance to kick field goals with little time on the clock very often. 1st and 15. Renda over the middle. Boyd finds that gap between the defenders, goes down quickly, shy of the 25-yard line, and that's going to be a Dragon Den first down.
Again, you just see
Carroll
Renda
uses their second time out of the half.
Just a surgeon out there delivering strikes. And I tell you what, finding soft spots in the defense, finding Boyd, you can see him looking through his progressions. And again, it's so hard to cover Brock Boyd. You get him in the open field in between. The second time we've seen that tonight, in between defenders. It's just such a dynamic duo those two are.
10 seconds left. 1 timeout still for Carroll. See what Riley Dodge is thinking here. Don't have to get into the end zone. Can use the whole field with a timeout left.
Well, we're getting into territory where, Riley likes to throw to, I say, spots versus men. You have your spots designated in the end zone, the corners, the fades, those type of things where you're just throwing it up, allowing your playmakers to make the play. And I would assume some type of shot's going to be made there to the end zone here soon.
Knowles is their big target on the outside. He's at the top of your screen. Some soft coverage. Corner playing about 10 yards off. Renda looking to throw. Rolling out to his left. Is going to go over the middle. It's Mackey into the end zone for the touchdown. Caden Mackey finally finds the end zone, his first one of the season, from 26 yards out. The Dragons are up 55-7.
We talked about the progression of Angelo Renda. Watch him feel pressure. He doesn't melt down. He simply just rolls out to the left. It becomes backyard football. Finds Caden Mackey. They're wide open in between the coverage. Tremendous job by Angelo Renda to Caden Mackey, and great job, Caden Mackey, getting in the end zone. I tell you what, I'm so excited for him to get a touchdown. He's been blocking. He's been making the tough catches. Congratulations, young man.
Touchdown, rather, sponsored by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. Extra point by CLC Roofing. Yeah, Mackey's been such a big part of this Dragon offense all season. Great to see him finally get into the end zone. He's been out there just about as many snaps as the rest of the receivers.
Well, you talk about the sacrifice of the receivers. There's so much talent. You're not going to get it all the time. There's a lot of opportunity to be selfish, to be upset, to be angry, and who really loves the block. But you've got to do those things. If you're going to be a great team, you have to sacrifice, you have to block, and then when you're offered and your name is called and you have an opportunity, you maximize it. And I think that, talking about the development of just, Angelo Renda, but Caden Mackey as well as a player, leaps and bounds from last year to this year, and tremendous job by the young man.
Third passing touchdown of the night for Angelo Renda. Gavin Strange will kick it away with 4 seconds left before halftime. So if it's returnable, will likely be the final play of the half. Again, coming up, Feed Store Barbecue halftime show. We'll talk to Carroll ISD School Board President Cam Bryan and Superintendent Dr. Jeremy Glenn. This one goes into the end zone, so
it'll be fun and exciting. Stay tuned. A lot of good info coming.
So Eaton will have to run one play, and then the most exciting 5 minutes in sports, Robert's replay room.
And also the most disastrous at times. Sometimes you don't know what I'm circling, what I'm showing, but bear with me. Talk about Mackey's and Renda's development. It's my development on the replay as well. I'm getting there. So have a laugh with me here in about 20 minutes.
We'll see if the Eagles just keep the ball on the ground. They were trying to keep it on the ground before halftime, but ended up fumbling, and the Dragons came up with the recovery and scored another touchdown. Rivers on the carry, and that will bring us to the end of the first half. But a dominant first half like we've become accustomed to seeing from this Dragon team in 2025. After a couple of quarters, Carroll leads it 56-7 over Eaton. We'll have the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show coming up next on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hello, Dragon fans. It's no secret, Southlake Carroll students have a long history of success. Protect the Tradition speaks to the success Carroll students have achieved in the past, both on and off the field. Games aren't won on game day. It's hours and hours of practice, working together, and trust in the process that builds confidence that leads our students to achieve extraordinary results. Like the Dragons, our team at Mills Wealth has a long history of success. We're celebrating our 25th year anniversary of helping clients make wise decisions about money. If we can help you, check us out online at millswealthadvisors.com.
For your next family get-together, church event, or corporate outing, well, leave the cooking to Feed Store Barbecue in Southlake. Feed Store has everything you need to make everyone happy, with delicious barbecue, fixings, and desserts. And the best part, they'll set it all up for you, and they'll take it away when you're done. All you have to do is eat. Call us at 817-488-1445 or online at feedstorebbq.com. Go Dragons.
Hey, Dragon fans, this is Robert Clayton with the Clayton team at Clayton Real Estate. Karen Young and I have been proudly serving Southlake for over 30 years in residential resale, family owned and operated, and former Dragons. Being a Dragon graduate, you truly understand what it means to be a Dragon. Tradition, excellence, and a winning team. That's what we provide our clients, the best service and experience in the industry with a winning tradition. Dragons representing Dragons. Call us today at 817-894-4152 or visit us on the web at www.dragonrealtors.com. Go Dragons.
This is John McKellar from White's Chapel in Southlake. This is one of my favorite times of the year because football is back. The Dragons are all about tradition, and White's Chapel is no different. For over 150 years, White's Chapel has been at the heart of this community. We're a church that preaches a message of grace and love. We'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% US-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. Carroll up on Eaton 56-7 at halftime. Starting the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show here, Chris Blake and Robert Clayton, joined by Carroll ISD School Board President Cam Bryan and Superintendent Dr. Jeremy Glenn, who's, and you guys, no stranger to Dragon football. Thanks for fighting the traffic and making it over here to Justin tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us on a Thursday night, supporting our Dragons. What a season they're having, right?
Incredible.
It's been awesome.
Dominating night, and it's
really is
fun.
amazing. It's like every minute and a half they're scoring. Is
right.
that what they're doing?
It is. It is.
You guys have your hands full.
It's bouncing back and forth.
It's been quick.
Right.
So, but you guys have been watching this team all season. Before we get into what else is going on in the district, what have your initial – it's not initial anymore. We're in week 7 somehow already. But what have your impressions been in watching the team so far this year?
Oh, they're amazing. I mean, super talented, obviously, on offense. But what I'm most impressed about is their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense has been just a shutdown defense. I mean, like tonight, 1 touchdown.
100%.
I mean, how many touchdowns this whole year? Except for the fourth quarter against Keller. I mean, it's probably 2 or 3. Maybe 4. I mean, it's crazy how good this defense is. They're running the ball. You saw number 22. Harris was knocking people out right and left. And it's just Dr. Glenn and I were down on the field and we're like, who is this guy?
Right.
This guy's like all over the place. He's knocking people out. And
they fly to the ball.
And you know, Dragons have had good defenses in the past, but this is something special, I think, this year.
Well, it's something we talk about that usually it's a later progression of the Dragon defenses, but it starts from week 1, and so that's incredible.
It has, yeah. Super proud of these guys.
Well, good. Well, you know, Cam and Dr. Glenn, I know Cam especially. You know, you've got a lot of deep roots in this program. You know, maybe tell us a little bit about your background with Dragon football, you know, your experience.
Yeah, we've been here for, my family's been here since 2004, so 21 years. And I immediately got into not only coaching, but I was on the board and later president of Dragon Youth Football. So
that's a task in its own, right?
It is a task in its own, and I was like a wartime president because it was during COVID. It was during COVID, and it's like, you know, it was great preparation for school board, right? But no. You know, I coached a lot of these juniors and seniors that are playing out here on the field tonight, and I look at them and I'm like, wait a second. You know, I see them as 10-year-olds, but they're out there grown, and it's so cool. It's amazing how they've progressed and become, you know, awesome varsity players, and you know, a testament to our youth programs in Southlake, not just Dragon Youth Football, but all the athletic programs really prepare these kids for the varsity level.
Right, absolutely.
Well, and Dr. Glenn, you've been in public education for more than 2 decades. What kind of, talking about Dragon football, what kind of stands out to you about Carroll ISD's athletics department?
Yeah, you know, everything stands out about the Dragons. I mean, across the state of Texas, wherever you're at, people know what it means to be a Carroll Dragon. It's a program, and programs that just define excellence. So, you know, having the opportunity to watch not only our tennis teams, our tennis, water polo, cross country, all district champions now. Pretty soon it'll be the football team. Volleyball has had a great year, so it doesn't matter. I heard this said last year. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. We are one of the only programs in the nation, regardless of the sport, we're competing for a state championship every single year, and it's absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, and it's amazing too. I mean, we're at halftime. We're watching Emerald Bells, who's nationally acclaimed group, and we've got an awesome band this year that is going to go far.
Band went to state last year. Yeah. They'll compete at state this year. Have a great program. New uniforms purchased by the board, and so they look absolutely fantastic out there. Green and white.
The white uniforms. They'll be yellow next year, but they're going to look good. They're looking good right now.
Well, we were complimenting the last week. We're like, those are sharp uniforms. You haven't noticed, but really, really, really sharp.
Yeah, Ken Johnson does a great job with that program. Melissa Page and the Bells. So, that's another thing we don't talk about is, like, we really have some outstanding teachers, coaches, sponsors. Yeah. And, I think as you and Cam were touching on that VATRE, we're trying to find ways to make sure that we protect and take care of those individuals who are taking care of our kids.
Absolutely. Well, it brings that in. It brings it into it in terms of, the district really has a big item on November 4th ballot, the VATRE, and can you explain what that is and what it means for our district? Because, I try to explain it. I don't know. But explain it, Cam.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to explain it in its simplest terms. We'll get serious here. VATRE, or VATRE.
Vader, I like Vader.
Right, Vader, like Cam Vader, right? So it's like Voter Approval Tax Ratification Election is what it stands for. Yeah. The board voted to place it on the November ballot, the November 4th ballot. And simply put, if passed, it's going to give our district an additional $4 million a year. And so right now we're sitting in a $4 million deficit. A $4 million additional revenue every single year is going to go a long ways. In fact, regardless of the Vader passing or not, the board has already passed a tax rate for next year that's lower than last year's tax rate by about 4 pennies. So regardless whether it passes or it doesn't pass, the tax rate is already set, and the board has already voted to say, hey, if this Vader passes, we are going to give every single employee in the district, from bus drivers all the way up to the administrators, a $2,000 stipend. And so we're going to do that because we're going to have the money right away if it passes. We're going to give $1,000 in November and $1,000 in April. And then we asked Dr. Glenn and his administration to come to the board in April and recommend a whole new pay structure for all of our employees. So every single discipline in our district is going to get a new pay structure, and what we've asked for is for the pay structures to be within 95% of market value, so we're competitive with neighboring districts.
Robert, what's amazing, just to add on to that, we were watching a commercial here on the scoreboard about a VATRE here in Northwest ISD.
Right, okay.
In fact, there are only 3 districts in Tarrant County that have not passed a VATRE.
Right.
Hearst, Northwest, and Carroll. All 3 have one on the ballot in November.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
now, if anyone wants to learn more information about this, is there any opportunity to ask questions, get more info on it?
Absolutely. Dr. Glenn and I are hosting, in fact, we're hosting 16 town halls. Between
16?
Yes, between now and in the November 4th election. We've already conducted 10. Yes, and so it's open to the public. Anybody that wants to come out, we're hitting all 11 campuses. We're having the 4 at the Fine Arts Building. So we encourage everybody to come out, get the facts, understand what's on the ballot. It's going to be an important vote this go around. Early voting starts October 20th. October 20th, and then the election day is November 4th. So now is the time to learn the facts before you go to the ballot to vote.
Well, get out and vote. I think that's the most important thing here. Not only the Vader, but there's also a school board race on the ballot this fall, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
There is. We have a contested race for place 3, which was previously held by Dudley Jordan, who resigned earlier this year. The winner of this race will fill a remainder of his term and then run again in May. So they have to turn right around in 6 months.
Wow, okay.
Run in May for the full 3-year term. So there's a lot happening in this election. The Vader, which is going to be Proposition A on the ballot, and a school race.
Yeah. Okay.
Want to make sure people get out and remember to do that because it's an off year, the election. So sometimes, you got to give that little extra nudge to make sure we remember to get to the polls.
It is, and historically, these off elections have had very low turnout. So we have been trying to up our game and try to get out to the community as much as we can. In fact, Dr. Glenn and I have been communicating with HOAs, neighborhoods, to try to get to their meetings and talk to them about what's on the ballot and how important this is to the district.
Well, before we get into some maybe favorite Dragon moments, let us know, Cam and Dr. Glenn, what is something you want to say to the Dragon community now?
Thanks, Robert. I just want to say how grateful we are for this community. Carroll ISD continues to thrive because of the strong parental and community engagement, whether it's serving on a committee, volunteering for PTOs, or even running for the school board. Those efforts make a real difference. So I'd say stay involved, stay informed, and keep supporting our students. Of course, go Dragons.
Yeah, I think when you look at every aspect of what we do here in Carroll, it's excellent. And from the #1 football team in the state of Texas to the top-ranked cross-country team, one of the top-ranked volleyball teams in the state of Texas.
To academics.
32 national merit scholars. So from an academic standpoint, every campus rated an A. The district rated an A, both academically and financially. So you're really talking about a culture of excellence that's been created here, and we're so proud of it. And and I will give a plug to our school board, because we talk about going out to HOAs, but as we look at the fans that travel here tonight and the fans that come to games, something our trustees started this year was a senior pass. And so knowing that we have an aging community, but a lot of empty nesters whose kids they graduated from Carroll. They're still Dragons. They still love to root for Dragons. They can come by the administration building or come to a home football game. We have a booth set up, and all seniors who live here in Carroll ISD, we want to give them opportunities for free to come to all of our events and continue to support what our amazing Dragons are doing day in and day out.
I think that's one of the biggest things I love is, when I grew up here, you came here, your kids graduated, then you moved out. Now Southlake is a destination place. You want to be here forever, just because the brand and the culture of the Dragons, but it's just such a great community.
25% of our entire community is empty nesters. They're not moving. Right. They love it here. Yeah. And it's community. Yep. Everybody's a Dragon.
And I want to brag just kind of on a shared vision that I know both President Brian and you, Robert, have is, this idea that for all of our sporting events, whether it's a football game or a volleyball game, just creating that atmosphere where this is the place to be on a Friday night. And kids and parents alike know that it's the hottest ticket in town.
That atmosphere at the volleyball game about a week ago was one of the coolest atmospheres I've been around in a long time. And tremendous job for y'all in getting that stadium ready and doing that and the things that you did, because how incredible of an experience has that been for the Lady Dragons on the volleyball court, and imagine what it's going to do for the basketball program, going into winter. So
well, they deserve it. And so you saw the kind of the lights here, and hopefully that came through on the broadcast whenever I guess they scored their touchdown. And so I know that we can do that in our gym now, and so you see that in volleyball games. You're going to see it in basketball games, but I also know that as we get ready for football season next year, as part of a partnership with the city, we hope to have that at Dragon Stadium. So that'll be something cool as well, to create that atmosphere that just gets people excited, gets them pumped up.
The fans have done a great job creating the atmosphere. The last couple of home games, the place has been
sold out,
completely packed.
It's amazing.
We look to our left and right from where we sit. Can't see the top of the stand. Yeah, it's great.
Well, and it's been pretty cool to have the band and the bells both in the stands as well. When you're on field level, which President Brian and I are quite a bit, it's pretty awesome. The sound is good. The kids are excited, and it's always cool to look behind you and see a packed
all right
house.
there, right there in the stands together.
Well, cool. So let's end on this. So, Cam, put you on the spot. What is your favorite Dragon moment of all time?
I've listened to this radio show. I hear that, and I'm like, what would I say if Robert asked me this question? There's so many great moments, right? From the state championships to Gavin Strange's field goal kick against Longview last year. But you're going to be surprised. I'm going to tell you that my favorite game that I've watched was in front of, I think there was 40,000 people at SMU, and I think it was like 2006 maybe. That was Riley Dodge's last year as quarterback. I think Cal Watson was the coach. Northwestern came in from Miami, #1 in the nation. They had the most incredible athletes you've ever seen. I think there was probably about 30 D1 athletes on that, and we hung with them the whole game, all the way to the very end with an onside kick that I thought that we should have had that they didn't give to us. But that was the most electric, exciting. In fact, that was our winning streak that we lost, right? It's like 140 games or 145 games. But even though we lost, it just showed how great Dragon Nation is.
100%. Yeah. Well, Dr. Glenn, you're recent here, so tell us your favorite memory so far.
Hey, I am newer, and there's been a lot. Playing at AT&T Stadium in the first year was pretty awesome. But I will tell you, for me, hands down, my son had an opportunity to be part of the state championship cross country team last year, and so getting to hang a medal on his neck within the first couple of months of being on the job, that was pretty special. And so we have a great group of kids on that cross country team. I think that was Justin Leonard's 18th state championship.
That's amazing.
Which is absolutely amazing. So that was cool. But I'll tell you, every year it is always awesome. The first home game of the season, I always consider that like the start of the school year, watching those Dragons take the field. And it's not just about football. It's about the stadium being packed, the bells, the band, the cheerleader, the athletic trainers, Dragon media. So many people, so many kids are involved in a football game. It feels right. It feels like a little piece of Americana, the hometown, 100%. Southlake. But also the end of the year, a tradition that our board started this past year is the fireworks popping at graduation. And so that's a new tradition.
You know about that?
But
that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, if you haven't
just come to see the fireworks.
Okay.
It's like midnight. It's at midnight, but it's okay.
It's not that late, but I will tell you, it is. It's kind of special watching as soon as every kid finishes walking the stage and that class is announced, to see those fireworks pop and know that, hey, we graduated another awesome class of Dragons. Those are pretty special memories, and it's been awesome to be a part of that.
Well, it is great, and you talk about legendary coaches. You have Riley Dodge tonight coming into approaching his 100th win.
Oh yeah,
and do it all as a Dragon as well, which is incredible. So
probably the fastest to 100.
He is the fastest to 100.
Isn't he fastest to 100? Yeah, that's amazing.
I know. Keep an eye out. I know there will be, assuming that there's not an incredibly large comeback. There will be.
Fingers crossed. We've seen things.
Right, don't jinx it.
Crazy. Come on. I know his staff has a little special recognition for him tonight, and then hope everyone will join us for the next game, because I know that our trustees, CABC, and also the Touchdown Club are planning to recognize Coach Dodge before the game.
Looking forward to that, and we'll leave the jinx off you guys. So if anything,
we'll take the just put it on me. I'll take it.
It's the radio show.
I'm the last team that's never made the playoffs in Southlake, so I'll take that.
We'll
take that.
All right. Well, Superintendent Dr. Jeremy Glenn, School Board President Cam Bryan, thank you guys for coming up and joining us here at Northwest ISD Stadium tonight.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, thank you guys for what you do. Y'all do have a great broadcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, the score at halftime, Carroll 56, Eaton 7. We'll take a break, come back with more on the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show in just a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
Are you considering buying or selling your home in Southlake? I'm Kim Bedwell with Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty, and I would love to assist you. Recognized as one of the top professionals in Southlake by both industry peers and clients, I am a proud mother of 2 dragons and have been a resident of this amazing community for over 20 years. I know Southlake inside and out, and I am committed to ensuring your real estate journey is seamless and successful. You can find me at kimbedwell.com. Kim Bedwell Real Estate, delivering the highest level of experience and results in Southlake and beyond. Go Dragons!
Hey everyone, this is Michael Baum, General Manager at Hearst and Louisville Autoplex. We are longtime supporters of all things Dragons. This season, if you want to show up to the game in style, come see me or Brees Higgins, where we have the largest selection of late model, high-end, pre-owned trucks and SUVs. As a family-owned and operated dealership, we'll treat you like part of our family. Come see us on either side of the Metroplex and get a new ride today. Shop us online 24/7 at HurstAutoplex.com. Go Dragons!
Recoat Revolution, your one-day floor solution. I'm Joe Worrell, Southlake resident, Air Force veteran, and proud father of 2 dragons. Our one-day sandless, dustless process refreshes flooring without the mess, smell, and expense of traditional refinishing. If your floors have damage, wear from furniture, or even little dragon talons, we can tackle those issues to have you back in a clean home that night. Sandless, dustless, odorless, done by dinner. Recoat Revolution. Go Dragons!
Dragon fans, the wait is over. The Dragon Den is your one-stop shop for spirit wear, gear, and everything green, black, and white. Show your pride and represent Southlake Carroll everywhere you go. Protect the tradition and shop at the Den. We are open every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and all freshman, JV, and varsity home games. The Dragon Den is the perfect spot to gear up for game day. Go Dragons!
Barbecue halftime show from Northwest ISD Stadium. Carroll and Eaton, the Dragons are up 56-7 at halftime. Chris Blake alongside Robert Clayton. As we wind down the half, it's time for Robert's Replay Room, presented by Recoat Revolution. All replays tonight sponsored by our friends over there.
I got so excited I was muted because this is going to be an electrifying replay room for everyone at home watching as we take Davis Penn for a touchdown here in the first half. And we talked about just right here, Kerry Clayton and C.J. Johnson. You know, C.J. Johnson being the sophomore tonight, getting the start at right guard. And then just the effort by Davis Penn of finding the end zone, leaning on this offensive line. We've seen that throughout the first half once they get inside the 20-yard line.
Davis Penn, a lot of success on the ground today, but he's not the only one who found the end zone in the rushing attack.
Well, we give the right side some love. We're going to give the left side some love here, and I'm going to get dramatic with my pointer here. You're going to have Tristan Dare coming down. Then you got a great block by Fraga, and then it's just bigger. Boom! Hitting the line and getting into the end zone.
Can we get one more of those?
Boom!
We're off the rails. The school board officials leave, and we're
and again,
big hit here by Landon Harris.
And you talk about wanting to put someone to sleep, and this is a big hit by Landon Harris. And again, we talked about Big Dog just leaving his receiver out there, and then just the smackdown that Landon Harris. He had multiple plays this drive, you know, on the defenders, and you know, incredible job. I'm going to try to get a little bit better, more variety with my circles and dashes here, guys, I promise.
Here comes the punt return for a touchdown by Parker Harris. He's looked like he was close to springing one the last couple of weeks, and finally finds the end zone this time.
There's not much I can really do on this one other than, you know, just circle the ball catcher, and let's just draw a streak all the way up the football field because he takes it to pay dirt. We talked about him just, you know, doing a tremendous job, the blocking out in front and the discipline and wanting to break one. He did it tonight.
Angelo Renda running away from one of the best pass rushers Dragons will see all season, completing the pass to Brody Knowles, who goes all the way down inside the 5-yard line as Elijah Lash could not catch up to the Dragon
Elijah Lash here. He's going to get the penetration unblocked. Renda fills it. He sees it. He checks it off. He scrambles. And now you're seeing his eyes are going straight to Brody Knowles. He knows where he's at. And that's a really difficult throw, throwing opposite to you and then hitting Knowles and then letting the big man make the play, you know, tight line in the sidelines and getting the yards after catch, and that's effort.
Brody Knowles had a big first half, over 120 yards receiving for the Dragons in the first half today.
Of course, we have so many replays with so many touchdowns in the last half, but you know, you're going to see here big Will Barley coming down on the pull on Lash. You're going to see Will, great pull coming here, getting some depth, staying tight, and just a little kick of Lash opens it up for Penn to the end zone. Incredible job. And Chris, that is my best replay I've ever done.
And it was the last one, so we'll end on a high note with the replay room here tonight at halftime. A few minutes left on the halftime clock as the Eaton Band starts to wrap up its performance tonight. The score at the half is Carroll 56, Eaton 7. We'll come back with the second half kickoff in just a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey, you Dragon fans, it's Julie Walter with the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title in Southlake. I have some great news for all you homeowners. With school and football in full swing, this season will still be a great time to buy, sell, or refinance your home. At the start of football season, we will still see families moving into the Southlake area. Call your friends at the Baker Firm to get more information, and I promise you we will provide a smooth closing from beginning to end for your Dragon family. With our real estate attorney, Chris Baker, on hand 24/7, you will be sure to score a touchdown closing in our office. Protect the tradition with the Baker Firm.
Hey, Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, recharge with red light therapy, and fuel your body with our powerful Slim Shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Feed Store Barbecue on Whitechapel Boulevard in Southlake's been serving up great food to Dragon fans for over 20 years. Chopped brisket, pulled pork, and their signature ribs are just some of the reasons that people in Dragon Nation love Feed Store Barbecue. Call-in orders are welcome. They'd be happy to bring it out to your car if you want them to, or your truck. Order online at feedstorebbq.com and go Dragons.
You can trust your medical care at Southlake Dermatology. We have over 65 years of experience between Dr. Bowers, Dr. Tynard, and our 4 physician assistants. We treat a wide range of medical, surgical, and cosmetic concerns ranging from skin cancer, hair loss, rashes, increased sweating, and anti-aging. There are multiple new options for hair loss, such as Nutrafol supplements and PRP injections. View our services online at southlakedermatology.com.
We wrap up the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show here at Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. Carroll, a 56-7 lead on Eaton. Some of the numbers from statistician Scott Farrell tonight, and like the score, they tilt heavily in favor of the Dragons. For Carroll, 358 total yards in the first half, just 45 for Eaton. For the Dragons, 84 of those on the ground, 214 through the air. Eaton 23 rushing yards and 22 yards through the air. Dragons only faced 2 third downs in the entire first half, 1 of 2 on third down. Eaton 1 of 7 on third down. Penalties, the only blip on the radar for the Dragons in the first. 7 for 65 yards. Eaton 5 penalties for 55 yards. Eagles turned the ball over a couple of times. Carroll did not turn the ball over at all. From an individual standpoint for the Dragons, Angelo Renda, 13 of 14, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, added to 2 carries for 29 yards. Also rushing for Carroll, Davis Penn, 7 times for 46 yards and 3 touchdowns for Penn. That now gives him 8 rushing touchdowns on the season. Brooks Biggers, 3 carries, 9 yards, and a score for the Dragons as well. Through the air, Blake Gunter has been Renda's favorite target, 5 catches for 57 yards. Brody Knowles leads the Dragons in yardage, 4 receptions, 128 yards and a touchdown. Brock Boyd, 4 for 64 yards and a score. Caden Mackey, 2 for 59 and his first touchdown of the year. For Eaton, the quarterback, Rocky Nisa, 4 of 9 for 22 yards and an interception. He's also lost 12 yards on the ground. Leading rusher is the senior Chris Duhart, 11 carries for 34 yards. He did fumble the ball once. A couple of catches for Eaton, 1 for Ethan Dulvaney and 1 for Keaton Novotny. So that's a look at the numbers in the first half. Get a look at the moon tonight. And what is that one called?
This is called the sun-kissed moon.
Is that actually what it's called?
I don't know.
Okay.
It looks like sun-kissed, Chris.
It's a waning moon, according to Scott Farrell, our statistician. He's not just a statistician, he's also an astronomer. So, we're ready for the start of the third quarter. Dragons up 49 points, 56-7. And what Carroll has done to opponents in the second quarter from a scoring margin standpoint has been impressive so far this year, as Gavin Strange kicks this one away. It's going to be returnable for Novotny across the 25-yard line and going to be about to say forced out of bounds, but stayed in bounds, brought down by Luke Bussman.
I think the brightest spot so far for this Eaton team is the special teams.
Yep.
You know, you've seen some big play return ability. You've seen some speed. And just the team speed overall for Eaton, they have it. It's just about putting it all together. You know, it starts with the offense, starts with that offensive line, and that quarterback is just a little bit more growing to do as a unit.
But this Dragon offense in second quarters this year has now scored 170 points and held opponents to 20 points in the second quarter of games this season. Nisa out there with this Eaton offense. They keep it on the ground. Duhart brought down by Marcus Brous behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of a couple of yards. They have been keeping it on the ground more as the game has progressed, and just no running room for this Eaton running backs.
It really hasn't. It's died and stalled at the line of scrimmage. And a lot of that has to do with the young man right there, Marcus Brous, and really everyone on the D-line. And, you know, Marcus Brous is that guy who can line up and put his hand on the ground and get back and be a linebacker, gives him that 3-3 stack look and gives him that versatility as a defense. He's a key component of this.
3 down linemen here for the Dragons. They give it to Duhart again. He's going to be dragged down in the backfield. Another loss. This time it's Robbie Ladd.
It just looks like this Eaton offense is just a half a step not in the right spot on hitting their assignments, and it's causing some confusion there in the backfield, and it's too slow developing. You're allowing these Dragon defenders to come up and make plays and get over the top.
Again, Eaton has converted just 1 third down tonight in 7 tries. This time it is 3rd and 12. With Duhart alongside Nisa. They'll look to throw. Brous getting into the backfield, throwing down the right sideline, incomplete. Intended for TJ Holt, but out of bounds.
And Chris, that was a big 3rd down. You can see the sidelines, the juice box crowd going crazy, making some noise for this defense. Coach Castleberry, he's the ringleader of that group on the sideline, getting them going. And I tell you what, it comes up front. Marcus Brous with the pressure as well, creating the errant throw by Rocky Nisa.
Now, we need to start getting the info on who wins the juice box.
They announced it. I forgot who won it this week. But we'll get the announcement, you know, for this week probably by Tuesday. It's special. They got special teams player of the week, the offense, defensive player. Now they got the juice box.
There you go. All right, well, a timeout.
We should do one, Chris.
It's going to go back and forth.
Yeah, I think I'll dominate it.
Timeout called here by Ellis Miller. They were trying to run another player onto the field. We'll take it with them. Timeout's brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. With 10:27 to go in the 3rd quarter, Carroll up big on the Dragon Sports Network.
This is Pastors John and Todd from White's Chapel in Southlake. White's Chapel is a church where it's all about Jesus. We're a place where real people make genuine connections, where it's okay not to be okay.
We're a church where grace is a lifestyle and where everyone has a place. From the lifelong believer to the unchurched or de-churched, we're here for you, and we'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
So now Eaton will punt it away after running an 11th player onto the field. Couple of returners back deep. High snap over the head of the punter. He will run back and just boot it out of bounds. Ertl had to go up to try to bring that ball down. Kept it from going into the end zone.
It was like a 1970s football follies moment, Chris. You get a little muff punt, and they just can't catch a break, this Eaton team. It's been a long and tough night for them as a whole.
Carroll offense, talk about good starting field position. This is just about as good as it gets. The ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. They actually lose 7 yards on that punt, do the Eagles. Carroll's starting field position tonight has been excellent. Angelo Renda back out there. Bring a receiver in motion right to left. Biggers into the game at running back. He gets the call on 1st down. Plunges forward for a gain of about 3.
We've seen Biggers come on in the first half. You see him here really just getting behind that interior group there, doing a great job. You know, C.J. Johnson, the sophomore, doing a tremendous job Kerry Clayton at center and Will Barley at left guard, staying behind the big guys, muscling out the yards.
So 2 receivers stacked each side on second down. Dragons will look to the sideline here. Brenda gives to Biggers again, trying to pick his way through. Going to be brought down after another short gain. This time, the senior linebacker Xavier Whitus on the stop. Gain of 4 on the play for Biggers. We've seen more of Biggers in the game tonight on a consistent basis than we have in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of good work with Davis Penn early in the first half. You got him out in the flats, you got him running the ball, got him blocking, spill him a little bit, put Biggers in, give him a rest, and get behind this line. And great job by the sophomore C.J. Johnson tonight so far.
Biggers on 3rd and 3 is going to get into the end zone for a touchdown.
I just mentioned C.J. Johnson. I want you to watch this right guard's block. He puts 2 decleaters on one play. This is a highlight clinic tape. Watch number 68. Knocks him down, paves the way, comes up to the second level, removes the defender, paves the way for the touchdown by Biggers. For a sophomore starting tonight, C.J. Johnson, excellent job. Double pancakes. Bring the syrup. Chris, I get hyped up about linemen.
About the linemen. 5 rushing touchdowns tonight for the Dragons. Touchdowns brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate, CLC Roofing, Point After, Try is Good by Gavin Strange. So a couple of minutes into the third quarter, Dragons take a 63-7 lead over Eaton on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hello, Dragon fans. I'm Steven Nelson, partner at Mills Wealth. Our team is celebrating our 25th year anniversary of helping Dragons succeed financially. As an independent firm, we aren't owned by a bank or an insurance company. Instead, we're fiduciaries doing only what we believe is best for our clients. If your finances need a second opinion or would like to tap into our expertise, come meet with our certified financial planners or CPAs and learn how we can help you win just like the Dragons. Look us up online or give us a call at millswealthadvisors.com. $63-7, Carroll on top of Eaton tonight. Dragons tying their season high in points, and we're just a few minutes in to the third quarter. This will be a touchback off the foot of Gavin Strange. Robert Carroll's now scored 3 touchdowns in roughly 2 minutes of game time, going back to those closing 30 seconds of the second quarter.
High execution, high level play. I think that's good. I'll give it an A+, Chris. They are executing on all levels, which, again, it's a special group. It's a special group, this group is.
The team that is excelling, as we've talked about last couple of weeks, on defense and special teams earlier in the season than we've become accustomed to seeing. We talked about that a little bit at halftime as well, as on first down, Nisa going to keep it. Running across the 35 is going to get the first down for Eaton. It's a Dragon Den first down.
Again, the biggest play from line of scrimmage I think Eaton's had. Faked out the entire defense, even us up here in the booth. Great keeper by Nisa and making some plays with his legs.
Just the third first down of the night for the Eagles. Nisa will throw here. Completes it short, right side. Holt on the reception, brought down by Harris.
A little outright by Holt. And again, a precision pass by Nisa. He's been off a little bit tonight, but again, executing on this drive so far. This is what he's capable of. Coach Miller mentioned that he plays a lot of 7-on-7 ball. He knows defenses. He knows coverages. It's just a matter of getting the reps.
Along the defensive line now for the Dragons, Nate Martin, Caden Hodges, and Sam Erickson in there. They will swing it out here. Falls incomplete. Holt was the intended receiver. Bourgeois in coverage.
What I've been impressed a lot about, Chris, is this secondary and the guys coming from the second level delivering the hits tonight. It's put a lot of pressure on these Eaton receivers to hold on to the ball.
Eaton has not been able to convert on its last 6 third down tries. Try it again here, keeping it on the ground. Nothing doing here as Duhart going to be hit and stopped behind the line. A few Dragons in there. Nate Martin along with Landon Harris.
Just can't get anything going on the run game, and this is a veteran O-line group. You know, some of these guys have played a lot of ball together, especially that right side with Daniel Dickerson and Ben Lane, and it's just been a tough night, I think, as a group overall. You know, you're seeing that second group in there, you know, led by Sam Erickson, the talented sophomore.
They've got Juju Peoples in the backfield here. They're going to motion him out to the left. Needs to look in to throw. Going to launch one down the left side. Overthrows his intended target. Was looking for Warren Simmons, the junior, and it falls incomplete. The Eagles turn it over on downs.
It's tough. You know, when you're not having success all night, and you definitely can't do it against the second group. It's deflating at times, and I tell you what, this Dragon offense, we talk about what makes them special. It's not only the first teams, but their second teams, the second team defense, the second team offense. They're efficient. They produce. They execute. It means something to them, and this is what makes this Dragon team so dangerous is the depth.
This will be the 4th straight time Carroll has taken over inside Eaton territory. Just adds another layer of, or another degree of difficulty for this Eaton defense. Preston Perazzo takes over at quarterback for the Dragons. Harrison Phillips in there at running back. Perazzo will throw on first down, taking a shot on the first play inside the red zone. It falls incomplete. Or the Dragons was looking for Luke Jacquemard.
We've seen Riley do this. He did this last week when the second group got in for the first time. He went vertical to Luke Jacquemard. He's got that speed, and maybe it's the ball could have been maybe just a few steps ahead of Jacquemard there, maybe a little underthrown. Probably wants that back if you're Perazzo, but I tell you what, he has no problem trying to hit the vertical on Luke Jacquemard. He's a talented player.
Jacquemard had 2 catches for 73 yards last week. This time they do keep it on the ground. Phillips, big hole left side inside the 30-yard line.
You got to love, you're just going down to the bread and butter, a little split zone action. You have Borkowski just coming across the line, picking up Lash, and then you have Harrison Phillips just doing what he does great, getting north and south. Such a hard runner, and he's hard to bring down when he gets in that second level. Terrific job.
Carl Jones on the tackle after 19 yards for a Dragon Den first down. Jacquemard, Rafael Otoya, and Caden Holmstrom, the receivers out there for Carroll with this group as they give it to Phillips again. Dragging the pile forward before he is finally brought down, moving that whole group with him before Elias Aguirre makes the stop.
That's one thing Coach Dodge said ahead of the season was, what's the difference between the running backs? The one thing he mentioned and stood out with Harrison Phillips was how strong his lower body is, how much leg power he has. He gets north and south and the power behind his pads. He has the ability to drag defenders 5-10 yards down the field.
The Dragons using plenty of play clock here in between snaps. Perazzo will throw short. Jacquemard makes the catch in the flat. Blockers out in front of him. Going to be brought down shy of the chains by Sage Noel Allen. Short gain for Jacquemard on the play. Picks up a yard. And this is a Carroll second unit that has been extremely productive. Dragons have outscored their opponents 49-14 in third quarters so far this season. Keep it on the ground again. Phillips inside the 20. This will be close. Looks like it'll be 4th and short coming up for Carroll.
So you have an opportunity here, get some experience, get some more a kick underneath the belt. Or if I'm the lineman here, I'm screaming at Riley saying, put it behind us, let us get the first down.
So we can get a yard.
We can get it.
Been doing it all day. Dragons have racked up a bunch of rushing yards today, and we talked earlier that this is an Eaton run defense that has struggled this season, especially in district play. Play clock down to 3. Razzo gets it off. Give it to Phillips again. He surges forward, picks up a couple of yards. That'll move the chains. A Dragon Den first down.
A great shake and bake by Harrison Phillips, making the defender miss, getting the first down.
Gets a pat on the back from Nick Wilson after picking up the first. And this is a Dragon running back room that is just incredibly deep this year. We've seen all 4 guys have big games. Davis Penn, of course, the senior, the returning starter. He's played a lot of snaps over 3 years. Perazzo looking right side, throws it short. It is incomplete. Jacomard tried to sell that he came up with it, but it did hit the turf. In coverage was Carl Jones.
They talk about that depth, Chris. Every single one of them bring a little different thing to the table. You got Davis Penn, he's just all-around guy, a lot of games underneath his belt, does everything you ask of him. Then you get Brooks Biggering, he's got that wiggle, he has that vision he's developing. You got Harrison Phillips, this north and south tough runner, and then Zadie, just loving Zadie gets in the speed he brings and how hard he runs. So I'm excited to see that here soon.
2nd and 10. Another handoff. Phillips patiently running behind those blocks inside the 15-yard line.
You got to love this. You have the second group, and you have Robbie Collins in at right guard, a senior, and he's going against Christian Stewart, the starting lineman from Eaton, and just flat backs them and pancakes them. You talk about imposing your will and doing it on multiple levels, and playing at a high level.
So Carroll again letting some clock run here in between snaps. 3rd and 7. Let's see what they dial up here. A lot of room one-on-one outside on the left for Holmstrom. Perazzo throws short. It falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down for the Dragons here. Offense isn't making any move to the sideline. And now they will. Looks like Carroll will try a field goal here on 4th down with under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Good call. It gets some experience, it gets some kicks underneath the belt. Again, sometimes when you're in these situations in games and the score is out of reach, you just try to work on parts of your game to refine it.
Gavin Strange, who has only tried 1 field goal so far this year, he hit it from 27. We'll try this one from 37. And knock it through. CLC Roofing presents all extra points and field goals this season as Strange makes it a 66-7 Carroll lead. 1:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. Back in a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
Looking for a roofer who truly knows Southlake? My name is Chad Cross, owner of CLC Roofing, a longtime Southlake resident who's proud to serve this community. For decades, we have protected Dragon Country with roofs built to handle the scorching sun, sudden hail, and high winds, all while keeping your homes looking beautiful. CLC Roofing proudly supports the Carroll ISD, the Carroll Booster Club, and local events. Supporting Southlake is part of who we are. We know every HOA standard, city code, and neighborhood nuance because we live here too. When the storm hits, we're not hours away. We're already in your community, ready to help the moment you need us. Our crews are safety certified and led by project managers who always focus on details. From minor repairs to full replacements, we bring expert craftsmanship and clear communication to every project. We only install top-tier roofing materials, and as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, we can offer extended warranties most roofers cannot, because trust and quality go hand in hand. Protect the tradition, Southlake.
A touchback by Gavin Strange after he converts his second field goal of the season to make it 66-7 Carroll. Robert, despite covering just 33 yards on that last possession, Carroll had its longest drive of the night, both in terms of number of plays and time taken off the clock. 10 plays in 4 minutes and 54 seconds to cover just 33 yards.
Oh, you know those guys aren't satisfied. They wanted to get to the end zone, Chris. And, I'll tell you what, it was being the longest drive for the Dragons. It just shows you how efficient this group has been all night just getting to the end zone.
Going to get a delay of game here. Couple delay of game penalties tonight against the Eagles. Still the first team offense out there for Eaton. Nisa's the only quarterback who has attempted a pass for them this year. Here he completes one at the 30-yard line, and a big hit delivered by the Dragons. Coming up to make the stop was Brody Bourgeois.
That's the second time we've seen Brody make a huge hit. And, I think we talked about Rocky's kind of leaving his receivers out there hanging a little bit. You've got to get that ball down in a catchable spot so they can get up and make a play after they catch. But these Dragon defenders are bringing the hat tonight.
2nd and 4. Nisa gets rid of it, incomplete. Was looking for TJ Holt again. Or check that, Dwight Brown into the game at running back for the Eagles. Brown, a junior, has carried 13 times for 27 yards on the year. Carroll back to 4 down linemen here. They stand up the edge rusher on the right side. Brown gets it, turns the corner, has the first down as he gets near the 40-yard line. That's where they will mark him down, move the chains for a Dragon Den first down.
Getting there on the edge and creating some space by Brown. A great job, but also good job by Ace Slavin in getting out there and making the tackle so it didn't break even further. Again, you're talking about a first-team unit going against a second-team unit. They're going to get some plays here and there, Chris.
9 yards on the gain for the first down for Brown. It's the Eaton team that has posted some second half comebacks this year, not saying this is that 59 points will materialize, but
Chris,
Coach Ellis Miller did say, Rocky Nisa has not shied away from pressure moments in second halves of games.
Well, no, I think if you're Coach Miller and you're in these situations, you want to look. At this point, it's about competing, right? Yep. You don't want to see laying down. You want to see competing. Going after that first down might seem minimal, but it's a big thing in terms of development.
Well, third quarter comes to an end here in Justin. Dragons with a big lead, 66-7 over the Eagles. Fourth quarter comes your way next on the Dragons Sports Network.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Come check out Champions Club at the Mark Southlake. Conveniently located off Southlake Boulevard in Bicentennial Park, Champions Club is your local, safe, and fun destination for fitness, play, and connection. From state-of-the-art workout spaces and exciting group fitness classes to our aquatic center, indoor courts, and party rentals, There's something for everyone. Make Champions Club your home for health, recreation, and family fun. Join today and discover what it means to live like a champion. Go Dragons!
Start of the fourth quarter at Northwest ISD Stadium. Chris Blake alongside Robert Clayton. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Thursday night. Dragons get an extra day of recovery before next home game for the Dragons, which will be against Northwest a week from tomorrow at Dragon Stadium. Eaton ball here to start the quarter. Second down. Quarterback Rocky Nisa looking to throw. Has a man left sideline, incomplete. Was looking for Warren Simmons. Had him, just overthrew him.
It's been kind of the situation all night. Just haven't been there. Been a hair off on the throws, not connecting, and that's part of the development Coach Miller talks about. Is you got to go out there and compete. You got to make those throws. He's a young talent. And he's going to be talented, and he's going to be a stalwart on this offense for years to come.
Third down and 7. Nisa will throw. Has some running room up the middle. Going to tuck it and run himself. Avoids one hit. Gets to the 45 and will be stopped there. Shy of the first down. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 4th and 5. Nate Martin on the stop.
We talked about Rinda being able to break down his plays, his development as things aren't there and running. And I think that's one thing Rocky's going to have to be able to do is understand when it's not there, you've got to run. You see when he does get the ability to run, he's dynamic in sorts, and he's just got to hone that in just a little bit.
Ertl on the punt. Last time had a high snap. This time gets it away. Harris telling his teammates to get away from it. Bounces at the 35-yard line and will come to a stop right about there. Dragons will take over again. Well, one other game in district play tonight at Keller ISD Athletic Complex. Byron Nelson taking on Keller. Bobcats lead it 23-20 right now.
Chris, that's the game we talked about in pregame that it could go either way. That's going to be a very competitive game, and it's turning out to be that way.
Both teams have a couple of wins in district play. Keller 2-2, Byron Nelson 2-1. Indians haven't had their bye week yet.
It's a big impact for that fourth position. It's a huge game for both schools.
LD Bell sitting at 3-1 in second place in district play as the Dragons keep it on the ground here. Big hole up the middle, lowering the shoulder is Emerson Zadie and picking up the first down.
Oh, love me some Zadie. I tell you what, he gets in the game. He brings the power, the speed, and what a burst. Getting behind Robbie Collins and Nick Wilson doing a tremendous job on that starting group of Eaton.
First down brought to you by the Dragon Den. So Carroll, of course, at 4-0 in district play. Looking to go to 5-0 tonight, followed by LD Bell at 3-1, which does not play this week. Byron Nelson and Eaton both 2-1. Keller 2-2. Zadie gets it again. Hard running up the middle, stopped after a short gain. Trinity 1-2. So is Northwest and Central. Timber Creek still looking for its first district win. So really a lot to be decided still in district play. I think last year it was a lot more clear cut. There was Carroll, Byron Nelson, and Trinity, and then the rest of the district. It feels like the rest of the district is a lot closer this year than it was a year ago.
It does. It seemed that I think we talk about the dispersity of talent, and we don't know really what has happened with Trinity. It could be, we've heard that pipeline some ineligible players. We're not sure if that's going to regain and get better or what their team is going to become. Ultra talented, and then Byron Nelson, you have Keller, you have Northwest, you have a lot of teams that can compete. And so there's not really a clear-cut guy, like you say, Chris. I mean, there's a lot of competition for those final spots.
So as we get into the final, I guess really 4 weeks, feels like 3 weeks for us because Carroll's bye is that week 11.
Right.
But there is another week of games after Carroll plays its 10th game.
And we'll talk a little bit about that playoff picture if it was to end tonight, what it might look like.
Perazzo gets rid of it to Jacquemart on 3rd down. Going to be stopped shy of the sticks. Save was tackled inbounds. We'll see if Riley Dodge wants to go for it here or punt it away. Looks like he's going to leave this. Nope, he's going to send the punt team on. And like you say on the Gavin Strange field goal attempt earlier in this quarter, or late in the 3rd quarter, I should say, just an opportunity to get reps here for Carroll's special teams field goal unit punt team as Hayes gets it away. Going to be fair caught at the 11-yard line by the Eagles. But
you've got
this is a team that doesn't.
You don't punt.
If we're being honest, in the first half of games, the offense has dominated in such a way that you don't get these opportunities.
I don't know how many punts, Zach Hayes has really had this year so far.
6 or 7.
6 or 7, so you're averaging maybe 1 a game. And that's really not, you're talking about a critical part of the team. You don't get a lot of experience in that. So you've got to do it. I'm not saying that's what they're thinking, but you've got to go out there and execute and do something, because as you get in the playoffs, field positions are going to matter, field goals are going to matter. We knew it in Longview last year. It's just all those things come to effect at the end of the year, so you've got to get the experience.
They keep it on the ground on 1st down. Gain of about 6 on the play. For the running back, Micah Rivers. And into the game at quarterback now for Eaton is Logan Heffington, the senior. On 2nd down, they give it to Rivers again. Brought down in the backfield by the Dragons. Trent Fergal getting in there and making the stop. We've called his name a bunch this year as well.
You gotta love Trent Fergal, another super sophomore there on that defense. He plays that same position as William Chin. He's going to be a guy next year that's going to be a huge factor for this team. Already a huge factor now. He just provides extra depth, and he is just a player, Chris.
Seen him make a big impact on special teams this year. He's also been out there with the ones on defense at times this year for short series here and there, as this pass is completed but stopped shy of the 1st down for Eaton is J.P. Lindsay. Stop made by Weston Duffy.
Again, executing, creating a 4th down position for Eaton. The second group, you get called on. They haven't had a touchdown on them all game. Only touchdown coming from a kick return. It is a spicy defense. It is a defense that is playing at a very, very high level.
And Parker Harris back there to return this one again from Peyton Ertl. They're trying to get another player out there. They're going to have to call a timeout or take a delay of game. And there is another delay of game penalty on the Eagles. It's their 9th penalty, and it's at least their 3rd delay of game on the night, if not the 4th. Ninth punt, excuse me, not the 9th penalty. But still the 3rd.
They've had more punts tonight than Carroll has all season.
It's true. Zach Hayes has punted, twice tonight?
Chris, that's math. I was mathing tonight.
It's good math.
Thank you.
One bounces. It'll be shy of the 50 when Carroll takes over. Hayes has punted twice tonight, so he's punted 8 times on the year. Incredible. 9 tonight for Eaton.
Incredible.
5.5 minutes to go in regulation in this one, and
that might be the stat of the night.
That's a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good stat. I'll tell you what.
We've got Scott Farrell here, and you are the one that comes up with the stat of the night.
The man, the myth, the legend does an excellent job every time. I appreciate the info on the point every time.
But you talked about playoff picture, not quite clear yet at this point for Carroll. Dragons, of course, in the driver's seat to win District 4-6A.
Chris just asked me what you think of the playoff picture is going to look like. I really want to say it.
What do you think the playoff picture is going to look like as Luke Jacquemart makes this catch for the Dragons, lowers the shoulder, and gets close to that first down marker?
Well, since you asked, Chris, I think you're looking at a possible Mansfield Lake Ridge first round, second round.
Or Legacy?
Sorry. Yep. Second round, either an El Paso team or Friendship, and then third round probably meeting possibly a Prosper team, the fourth round a Geyer team, fifth round possibly DeSoto or Longview, and then state championship possibly Summer Creek.
You were ready.
I've been waiting all night to talk about it, Chris.
Zadie takes the ball on second and short, plunges ahead to move the sticks for a Dragon Den first down.
And Chris, you had some homework over the last week, so I want to hear your recap of what your favorite Swift song is. You said you're going to read the lyrics and go through it, and so we won't do that now. We're not going on a tangent. But
Put me on the spot.
It's okay.
Got to do a little more listening. That Mansfield Legacy team you were talking about taking on Boswell tonight. Those are the two teams Carroll has played in the first round each of the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And could theoretically be the loser of that game who winds up in that fourth spot in District 3-6A. That was the 20th first down for the Dragons tonight, by the way, as Perazzo keeping this one, getting outside on the right, gain of about 3 on the play. Right now, Boswell up on Legacy 23-21 in the fourth quarter, so a tight one there. A couple of schools that Dragons may be watching the rest of the way. Another one out of that district, Mansfield Lake Ridge, which you mentioned has been off to a great start this year after they'd won one game combined the last 2 years. They're taking on toughest team in the district, though, North Crowley, losing 48-10 the second half of that game. On second down, Perazzo keeps it again, fighting his way through an arm tackle, getting close to the sticks. I'll mark him shorter than I thought, down at the 24. So we get down to 3 minutes to go. And one other thing we've got to touch on as we wind down here is Riley Dodge, a few minutes away from career win number 100. And he will get there in the fewest number of games coached in state history.
Incredible feat. And if you're listening at home, there will be an event before next game at versus Northwest at Dragon Stadium. So be sure to pack the house, celebrate that. That's 100 wins, all by a Dragon coach.
In 109 games.
Incredible.
From best we could tell from our research was Gary Joseph of Katy reached 100 wins in 110 games. So Coach Dodge getting there one game sooner. Gain of 4 on the play. It'll be fourth down. And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout of the second half. So we will take it as well. Come back with the final 2 minutes in just a moment. The score, Carroll 66, Eaton 7 on the Dragon Sports Network.
For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents of Southlake and the proud parents of 4 Dragons. I've been a dedicated volunteer in Southlake for the past 13 years, including serving 7 years on Southlake City Council. I'm the president and managing shareholder at Godwin Bowman, which was established in Dallas in 1980 to serve clients with business litigation issues all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and I'm board certified in civil appellate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Please consider me, Sean McCaskill, and the law firm of Godwin Bowman for your business litigation needs. Please visit our website at www.godwinbowman.com for more information. I promise you that we'll provide big city experience together with small town service.
Dragons going for it on 4th down. Perazo, design keeper, has blockers out in front, picks up the first down, but a flag comes in at the end of the play. You would assume that Eaton would accept this. It's going to be a hold against the Dragons. Move it back. They will replay 4th down with under 2 minutes to go here. But talking about Riley Dodge and his 100th career win tonight, a lot of factors go into it, of course, but getting there in 100 career games, or 109 career games, I should say, it's a feat that's going to be tough to match because it's rare for a coach to get that first job at a place where you can have that kind of success right away. So that's the only way you can do it, though, is if you can come in somewhere where you're winning 90+% of your games right out of the gate.
Well, I think Riley would be the first to tell you that it's just not only him, but you're talking about Coach Munn, you're talking about the staff that he's been able to maintain that want to be part of this, and retention on the staff. When you have probably coaches, 4 or 5 coaches that can be head coaches elsewhere, that is what's important, and that's the factor of Riley Dodge. Not only is he a fact of staff, but I look at what he's done in the community in terms of, the Dragon Youth football and his presence, growing that, just being here, the positivity, everything that he brings to the table.
So 4th and longer after another penalty against the Dragons. Under 90 seconds to go now. In a second half that has moved pretty quick. Official trying to get the clock rolling here. The mic has not been working as far as we can tell in the second half. Trying to add 3 seconds to the game clock. He's going to say roll it. With 1:16 to go. A long 4th down play here for Carroll, going for it. Perazo looked like he had picked up a first down, but a couple of penalties have pushed Carroll back. Can always try a 50-yard field goal here. And they may. Riley Dodge calls timeout. Timeout presented by Dragon Special Olympics. Let's see what they decide to do here. You let Strange kick it from 50?
I think you test the leg. Let's put it on.
They're at the 38. It'd be longer than 50. 55?
You're the mather.
You did some pretty good math a second ago.
Chris, I'm a genius.
Your punt edition.
Thank you.
Strange is probably chomping at the bit to get out there and give it a shot, but it looks like they may punt. Zach Hayes is in that huddle along the sideline. lot of the crowd here on the home side for Eaton has left the building. It was their pink out game tonight for the Eagles. See a lot of pink socks, pink sleeves and gloves on the field for the Eagles here as Hayes gets it away. High end over end. He's going to put this one inside the 5. Carroll, are they going to say they were able to down it, or are they going to call a touchback? They're going to say it got into the end zone. Dragons almost getting there, but Zach Hayes spotting that one perfectly.
Incredible. Inside
the 5-yard line for Carroll. Helps when you have a Division I punter and kicker on your team.
One going to La Tech, one going to Duke. And not only do they punt and kick, but they are a force on the defensive side of the ball. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it helps in kick and punt coverage when your kicker can also make the play.
You got another playmaker out there.
So could be last snap here as Eaton's offense comes back onto the field. They keep it on the ground, give it to Brown again. He's going to be dragged down with 30 seconds to go, and the Eagles will not have to run another play as clock starts to wind down. Players not heading back to the sidelines quite yet.
We have some sneaky things happen there on the sidelines.
Riley Dodge, a few seconds away from racking up career win number 100. Dragon players, maybe with some shenanigans. They've got a water cooler, one of the coaches holding him in place, and they get the bath on head coach Riley Dodge. Brody Knowles there with maybe the most direct shot on his head coach. And Dodge picks up career win number 100, a 66-7 win over Eaton.
Incredible. Icing on the cake. Huge, momentous win. You see Coach Miller, class act.
And again, Riley Dodge now 109 in his career. 109 games makes him the fastest head coach in state history to 100 wins by number of games coached, besting the prior mark by a single game. So a little bit of Texas high school football history here tonight.
Pretty incredible. Another milestone to watch for this electric team, and outstanding job. You know, Riley would say it's just not about him, it's about the staff, everyone who's part of the organization just supports the program, the Dragon community. Just an incredible night tonight. Amazing finish by the Dragons, and, you know, tip your hat to Coach Dodge. What a feat.
And really, I don't want to say picking up where he left off, because there was time in between from when he graduated high school. His dad continued for a while. But, you know, that he was part of the beginning of this 25-year run that the Dragons have been on, and he's taken the reins and, you know, kind of re-elevated it back to a point where you're competing for state championships on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's, you know, you go back to even the Bob Ledbetter days, you know, the runs, the tradition and where it started, and then Ledbetter bringing Todd Dodge in and you know, Wasson taking over, and then Dodge coming in, Riley. You know, there hasn't been a whole lot of coaches in the Carroll program, and a lot of it has stayed within family. And it's a special moment when you get all those 100 wins within the program you played at. I don't know if that's even a feat anyone's ever done.
And still getting congratulations from coaches and staff over there as the Dragons sing the alma mater. So we'll take a quick break, come back, wrap things up here from Justin in just a moment. Carroll wins it 66-7 over Eaton on the Dragon Sports Network.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Are you considering buying or selling your home in Southlake? I'm Kim Bedwell with Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty, and I would love to assist you. Recognized as one of the top professionals in Southlake by both industry peers and clients, I am a proud mother of 2 dragons and have been a resident of this amazing community for over 20 years. I know Southlake inside and out, and I am committed to ensuring your real estate journey is seamless and successful. You can find me at kimbedwell.com. Kim Bedwell Real Estate, delivering the highest level of experience and results in Southlake and beyond. Go Dragons!
Hey everyone, this is Michael Baum, General Manager at Hearst and Louisville Autoplex. We are longtime supporters of all things Dragons. This season, if you want to show up to the game in style, come see me or Brees Higgins, where we have the largest selection of late model, high-end, pre-owned trucks and SUVs. As a family-owned and operated dealership, we'll treat you like part of our family. Come see us on either side of the Metroplex and get a new ride today. Shop us online 24/7 at HurstAutoplex.com. Go Dragons!
Carroll 66, Eaton 7, the final score from Northwest ISD Stadium tonight. Chris Blake alongside Robert Clayton as we put a bow on this one and look ahead to next week back at Dragon Stadium when Carroll will take on Northwest. But Robert, a dominant win tonight for the Dragons, and it seems like these games, penalties aside tonight, but it seems like from an execution standpoint, offensively and defensively, it just is getting sharper and sharper, which you would think would be harder to do because there's not a whole lot of room to get much better.
Well, right. So, I mean, how do you maintain it? How do you keep the team intact? You know, you're still executing at a high level. What do you do? I think you got to take your opportunities. I think we saw it then in the second half. You're running the 2-minute drill. You're getting some tempo. You're getting some reps. You're getting the punts. You're getting the kicks. You've got to do those things. So I think overall, I mean, it's a team that's going to face us for probably the next few weeks, and you got to be prepared. You got to prepare like it's the playoffs, like it's your last game. You've got to do it and have that mentality. And Coach Dawes does a terrific job on getting them ready.
What is kind of the key to maintaining that fire, that level of intensity as you go through this district season when you have been winning games by the margin that the Dragons have been winning by?
Well, I think he does a great job of, again, the goals, right? I mean, you can't look too far ahead. You've got to win district. You know, you've got to play on or practice on Thanksgiving, and you want to be in the state championship. So I think you take each of those goals and you move forward. And I think that's how you keep the vision in line, and you don't get too ahead of yourself with a lot of chatter out there. There's a lot of chatter out here.
It looks like staff is presenting Riley Dodge with a helmet here tonight on the field after this win over Eaton, his 100th of his career, as we get final stats from tonight from Scott Farrell. Dragons rack up 455 yards of offense, 169 on the ground, 286 through the air, 5 rushing touchdowns tonight for Carroll, 3 passing for Angelo Renda. He goes 13 of 14 for 274 yards in those 3 scores, 1 each to Brock Boyd, Brody Knowles, and Caden Mackey. Again, Mackey getting into the end zone for the first time this season. Dragons actually scored on 10 straight touches from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. That includes that punt return touchdown by Parker Harris, but that's pretty efficient.
Pretty efficient. You just talk about the team overall, the defense not giving up a touchdown, and then only you give up the special teams. But the execution, coming out and going a few plays out in the first drive of the offense, and coming back and rebounding and putting the points back on the board. I don't think you understand how many points is to get 60 points in a game.
Right.
I mean how hard that is. And the Dragons make it look easy, but it's not. I mean, it's execution. It's all those things. You only have so many opportunities in a game.
Dragons have now done it a couple of weeks in a row after scoring 63 last week against Keller and 55 the week before that against Timber Creek. They give up just 84 total yards tonight, 57 on the ground, 27 through the air. They held Eaton to 2 of 12 on third down and forced 9 punts, as you mentioned with that excellent math. That's more times tonight that Eaton punted than Zach Hayes has punted all season. So this defense just on top of it tonight for Carroll. But that'll do it for us here in Justin tonight. The 100th career win for head coach Riley Dodge as Carroll improves to 7-0 on the season and 5-0 in district play. Next week, the Dragons are back at Dragon Stadium hosting Northwest. That is a week from tomorrow, Friday night. We'll be on the air at 6:30 with the Clayton and Clayton Real Estate pregame show. Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock. So for our statistician, Scott Farrell, director Tim Polster, and for Robert Clayton, Chris Blake saying goodnight from Northwest ISD Stadium, where Carroll wins it tonight 66-7 on the Dragon Sports Network.
This week's Dragon football broadcast has been brought to you by White's Chapel United Methodist Church, Feed Store Barbecue, Kim Bedwell Briggs Freeman Sotheby's, Godwin Bowman PC, The Baker Firm Fidelity National Title, Recoat Revolution, The Mark Southlake, Life's Medicine, Clayton and Clayton Real Estate, Hearst Autoplex, Southlake Dermatology, CLC Roofing, Patriot Mobile, The Dragon Den, and Mills Wealth Management. Thanks for joining us, and go Dragons.